Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
The Jets are moving on from Aaron Rodgers. Joe Benigno joins us to react to that and where the Jets go from here. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started. Man, our Jets are primed to win another offseason, baby.
Number one, we play with maximum effort. There's three elements of effort. Got burst, speed, and finish. If I don't see one of those, man, you're a traitor. Go play for somebody else. Win, lose, or draw. The one thing you're going to say about our defense, using the fight. That's an ass kicker.
We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show. Here we go on a Tuesday, February 11th. We got a lot to talk about. And joining us right now to react to the news that the Jets are moving on from Aaron Rodgers is the great Joe Benigno. Joe B. Joe, happy Tuesday. Appreciate you hopping on as always.
Well, for you, anything, Jake. And first of all, I'm not great. Let's never use the word great to describe me. And certainly our franchise isn't great. What a disgrace. It's bad enough. I mentioned this we were talking off the air. It's bad enough that I have to go through another Super Bowl Sunday when my team is not there. It's only 56 consecutive years now. It was made even worse by the fact that that Rodgers, the news of letting Rodgers go, and apparently he wanted to be back. Sounds like he wanted to be back with the team, and they decided, whoever made the decision, whether it was Woody, whether it was Glenn and the new GM, whatever. I was not happy about it. Not happy.
I just hope whoever – look, I'm right there with you. I would have kept Rodgers for another year. I just hope whoever made the decision, it was truly Glenn and Muji, the new GM. I'm not happy either way, but I don't want Woody making this decision. I want the football people making the decision.
Yeah, because if Woody made the decision, then it's the same old nonsense. Then it's, we're right back on this, on this rotisserie wheel that we seem to be on forever, where, 3 years from now, we'll be looking for a coach again. You know what I mean?
100%. And we'll get the story 3 years from now in The Athletic. Well, they never really got to decide what they wanted to do with Rodgers right away, which set them back to the 4-win season that's coming up now.
Doing already. You see what the media is doing already. They didn't want him on the McAfee show. They didn't want him to, miss the OTAs. They didn't want to have one set of rules for him and rules for everybody else. And it sounds like to me, most of the guys on this team didn't want Rodgers gone. I mean, I get that impression. I mean, I know Quinn and Williams had some kind of thing where he had like the giving the thumbs down emoji, whatever it is. And, so that look, this franchise is a disaster. Let's be honest. They are the worst franchise in professional sports in America. I'm sorry. There is nobody worse than the Jets. You tell me who that is. I don't know who it is. It's absolutely disgraceful. There's no other way to say it.
I mean, you look at why they're moving on, and you're going to hear, well, the contract when he was willing to take a pay cut. They're going to bring up, well, they need to establish the culture. And I don't subscribe to this thought that you can't build a culture and also try and win games with Aaron Rodgers. Like, to make yourself worse at the quarterback spot to try and build the culture. I don't buy it. I think building a culture, you got to win games to do that. Like I use the Bills example constantly, right? They hire McDermott. Tyrod Taylor is their quarterback at the time. He ends a 17-year playoff drought. Then they trade up and draft Josh Allen that offseason. They take a small step back, 6-10 the next year. And then from that point on, they've been in the playoffs every year. Like I feel like if you're the Jets and you've missed the playoffs 14 years in a row, you haven't won more than 7 games in a decade, you can't sell me that winning games next year and doing everything possible to try and win as many as you can is not the best thing for this franchise. I don't buy it.
You know what I'm tired of too, Jake? I'm tired of guys who are not Jet fans. Okay, I'm tired of them pontificating on the state of my team, number one, And number two, I'm tired of guys who are not Jet fans telling me I got to be patient. I've been patient for almost 60 damn years. I mean, I don't want to hear it anymore. I really don't. And I can't take another 5-12 season. Ugh. I mean, I got to tell you right now. And wait, is Tyrod Taylor going to be their starting quarterback? I mean, is that what they're trying to sell us next year? And he can't. He's never playing 17 games. You know that. I mean, he's okay. You can win games with him, but he's going to get hurt at some point in time. I tell you, I'm at the point now, and I really mean this. I'm at the point now where I am ready to move heaven and earth to get up to either the first or second pick in the draft and take one of these top two quarterbacks. That's where I'm at right now. I really am, because I can't take it anymore. We got to get our quarterback. And I got to wait another year. The crop is better next year. Well, I don't know that. I don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what Shadir Sanders is going to be. Nobody knows what Cam Ward's going to be. Nobody knows what Jackson Dart's going to be, or Jalen Milroe, or the kid from Syracuse, McCord. Nobody knows what these guys are going to be. But if these are the top two guys, let me get up there and get one of them. That's to me where we're at right now. Don't try to sell me that we're going into the year with Tyrod Taylor and we're going to sign some, Jameis Winston or Justin Fields or Kirk Cousins. I don't want these guys. We had a guy that was better than all of them combined that we just let go. And now I'm going to bring in some stiff like that who who's not any good. I mean, come on. I would just as soon rather go with Tyrod Taylor to start the year and draft the quarterback with the first pick in the draft. That's exactly where I'm at now, Jake. Really.
I do wonder what the cost would be to move up. I like Cam Ward if they were going to do it. He's the one guy I go, okay, I'm in. It just doesn't feel like that's going to be a priority for them. Like, they're a new regime. They don't care about the playoff draft. They're like, we just got here. We're not under any pressure to go and get our guy right away. And it just feels like, if they win games next year, great. But if not, hey, if they go 5-12, whatever, they don't care. And I just think that's so short-sighted because there's legitimate talent that's still in place on this roster.
Of course. It's unbelievable. It really is. It's unbelievable. So what are you going to do? You start letting guys go? I mean, I tell you, honestly, I would give up. Obviously, you flip-flop the ones. That's what you would do. You flip-flop the ones. I'll give them my second-round pick this year. Maybe I try to avoid that. Maybe I try to make it a third. And then I'll give you my number one next year. That's what I would do. That's where I'm at now, bro. I got to tell you. Because we got to get a quarterback. Let's stop. What a quarterback prop's better next year. Well, I don't know that. Nobody knows. Nobody knows about these guys. The draft is the biggest crapshoot in the world to begin with, and when now you're talking about the quarterback position, it's even a bigger crapshoot.
Right. I mean, you look at the options that are out there. I mean, you go through the list of names. You already said one of them. I mean, you have Rich Cimini predicting Kirk Cousins is going to be who they bring in, and that would drive me crazy. One, this guy used the Jets for leverage years ago and put out a documentary all about it, and then two, he was worse than Rodgers this past year. We're going to go from one old quarterback off an Achilles to another. That makes no sense to me.
It makes no sense at all. It's BS, bro. It really is. It makes me crazy. And you know what's going to happen. Rodgers is going to still play. I mean, you know that.
Yep.
And he's going to go somewhere, and he's going to have a big year next year. Maybe he goes – I still think he's going to wind up in San Francisco because I don't buy Brock Purdy at all. I'm sorry. Brock Purdy, to me, is completely a product of the system and the coaching staff he has there. And how crazy would it be to see Rodgers back with Salah on the same team again? And I can see it, man. And, it'll be, Devontae Adams will go with them, and they'll be going back to the Super Bowl, and we'll be sucking wins for another year. I mean, that's what's going to happen.
I mean, I could see him in Pittsburgh. I think they're the betting favorites right now for what it's worth.
Too. And isn't it funny? You know what? I don't mean to interrupt you, bro, but isn't it funny, right? So we can't deal with him going on, McAfee show, and we can't deal with the not going to the OTAs. You think they're going to be? You think Mike Tomlin and Shanahan give a damn about that crap? You think they do? They don't give a damn. These guys are big time coaches. They don't care. They're going to deal with it because of the kind of talent this guy is. It's really really. I mean, this organization, they act like they've won Super. Oh, we got a certain culture in here. We've won Super Bowl after Super Bowl. It's a joke. And this guy wanted to be here. What I hear is he actually flew from California to New Jersey to try to, see what's going on. Do you want me or what? And they told him to go, get the hell out of here. Don't let the door hitting the ass on the way out. And then you got the whole media. You know how I feel about those guys. You got the whole freaking media just, right along for, be patient. Oh, Kirk Cousins. Give me a break. Unbelievable.
You know what's frustrating too? When I hear, well, they only won 5 games. So it's like, okay, now can we add some context to it? I mean, Justin Herbert
Right.
won 5 games last year until Jim Harbaugh showed up. Like,
Right.
coaching matters, man. How many games did they lose because the defense collapsed late with the lead?
Right.
Or how many games did they lose because Greg Zerline, who was automatic his first 2 years as a Jet, failed them and missed more kicks than anyone before they finally got rid of him? Like,
or getting rid of the coach the way they did. You know, let's be honest. That was really the killer move. You know, say whatever you want about Saleh. I mean, I don't think he wasn't a great coach, but once they did that, and then Ulbrich was clearly way over his head. I mean, he had no idea what the hell he was doing. You know, and they put it all on Rodgers. They blame him. I mean, it's because the media don't like him. You know, the media loved him. The media loved Rodgers when he first got here, and they were all pumped up. You know, they're doing Hard Knocks and all of that, right? Oh, it was great. You know, Woody loved him. Oh, it's great. Look at all the attention we got. And then the guy tears his Achilles, as only could happen with the Jets. And then, he plays the whole year last year, and they can't wait to kick him the hell out of town. It's unbelievable. I'm beyond. I'm so disgusted, bro. I can't tell you.
And they had no running game too. Like and I think people confuse like because we wanted Rodgers back. People are like, oh, he wasn't even that good. I get it. He's not what he once was. But if you compare him to the alternatives and you factor in better coaching and maybe an offensive attack that could run the football, they got 4 of the 5 guys on the O-line under contract for next year with a real running scheme. Like, why can't this team go out there and do exactly what the Chargers just did last year? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, have a balanced offense where Rodgers doesn't need to throw 600 times in a season. They led the NFL in blown fourth quarter leads. Like, they were in most of these games. They very rarely got blown out this past year.
Yeah, there was only a couple games they really blew, maybe 3 games all year that they got blown out in. And look, and they blame Rodgers for that too, that he kept audibling out of run plays. This is what you hear from these people. He kept audibling out of run plays so he could throw the ball. I mean, come on. I mean, I'm sick of it. I mean, it's unbelievable. The media in this town is a freaking disgrace. Okay, there's no other way to say it. You know, these guys have been covering this team for far too long, right? And they're all the same. And then, and I didn't even read any of the articles yesterday because I didn't even want to read it. I got the Post, and I saw this stupid article by Costello, and now he's saying, "Well, the Jets don't have a quarterback." Well, of course. I mean, what? Hello, of course we don't. What's new?
Yeah. So I had Kaz on last week in New Orleans. He had an article that came out, and like I know he doesn't write the headlines, but it was basically like Spagnuolo and Nagy get a chance to show the Jets what they could have had. And I'm watching the game Sunday. I'm still waiting for them to show us what we could have had there, Kaz.
Right. Yeah, they didn't show too much on Sunday. I could tell you that.
Here's the other thing too, right? And look, I like Aaron Glenn. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. We have no choice. But
what are we going to do?
I keep hearing how great of a leader he is. If he's so great of a leader, it's like he couldn't handle Aaron Rodgers. It's like that's the argument from people. You got to move on. You got to let Aaron Glenn be the captain now. And it's like if he's such a great leader, he couldn't quote unquote reel in Aaron Rodgers. Like it was such a big issue they had to move. I don't subscribe to that. I don't buy that. I think you're cutting off your nose to spite your face. Like we're basically, I don't want to say punting on next year, but we lowered the floor of what next year could be, I believe, unless like they hit on one of these rookies you're talking about and they have a Jaden Daniels like rookie season.
Right. That's it. That's the bottom line. And like I said, if they draft the quarterback in the first round, I'll live with Tyrod Taylor starting the year at quarterback. I'll live with that. But you got to have, with the premise that somewhere down the road, this kid's going to take over at some point, later on in the season. And to me, that's why I'm telling you, you can't tell me, to me, they have to draft a quarterback, bro. I don't see how they possibly cannot draft one. And I'm telling you, now I would do whatever I had to do to get up to the top 2 to get one of these quarterbacks. I really mean it. I would.
I wonder if they could do something similar to what Baltimore did. Remember, they traded back into the end of round 1 to get Lamar Jackson. I don't know if the Jets would take someone at 7, but if like Jackson Dart is there at the end of the round 1, would they trade back in to try and get him, for example?
Right. I don't know. Maybe they would. I mean, I don't love Jackson Dart, but that doesn't mean he can't be good. I don't know. We don't know. And that's why I say, I mean, it's such an, especially the quarterback position, it's such an inexact science. And the other thing is, like we talked about, we got players on this team. So I got to punt another season. How about the guys? Garrett Wilson was complaining about, that he's tired of losing. And I get it. Well, you're going to lose again. You know what you're going to do?
Right.
You're going to be losing again this year. What does he think about Rodgers being gone? They made a big deal. Oh, Rodgers, especially after Adams got here. Rodgers wasn't throwing him the ball. Well, last time I looked, he caught over 100 freaking passes last year. So somebody threw him the damn ball. I mean, it's really unbelievable, man. It really is. And this franchise has just given me so much aggravation over the years. And look, I said to somebody this morning, I said, look, I'm 71 years old now. If I make it to 80, we'll probably have had 2 more coaches since, by the time I get to 80 years old, okay? and still probably have not sniffed a playoff spot and still not have a quarterback. You know what I mean? Unbelievable.
It is. And the other thing, too, why I was pro Rodgers back, once again, it's not that I think he's great. I just think you're also now creating a massive hole at wide receiver. They have Garrett Wilson, and then what? Right. Devontae's not going to be here without Aaron. He's gone.
Yeah, of course. We had a great 1-2 punch at wide receiver, right? Who's the other wide receiver? Who's it going to be? Lazard? He's not going to be here next year. Lazard's out of here.
Corley couldn't even get on the field. It's not Malachi Corley.
Oh,
not him.
Please. Don't even get me started. I don't know what the free agent market looks like for wide receivers, but it can't be great. We'll say that.
It could be someone they take 7th overall. There's that 6'5" guy from Arizona that's been mocked to the Jets a lot.
Yeah. I would not be happy with taking a wide receiver at 7. I can tell you that.
You want a defensive
player? If they don't
player?
Get a quarterback, then you better go out and get the best defensive player you can get.
I agree.
That's where I would be with that.
All right, some super chats here for Joe. If you have a question, write it in. Hit the like button. If you haven't, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Joe B joining us. And also a reminder to everyone out there, we have another raffle we're doing. I was telling Joe this off air. Joe, you'll love this. A signed Curtis Martin Hall of Fame helmet.
Hall of Fame helmet. Look at that.
That's right. Prize 2, signed Corbett jersey.
The great Wayne Corbett.
Prize 3, just added this.
Don Maynard.
We had to go old school.
Now you're talking about something there, man.
Just added this. I purchased it this morning, the Don Maynard helmet. And then, Joe, you have one of these, a replica Namath ring.
Yeah, you sent me that, and I love it. And, hopefully one day we'll see another one of these.
That'd be nice.
At least you will. I know I won't, but you will. Hopefully you.
I hope I will. And then one more. It's signed Aaron Glenn trading card. So those are the 5 prizes we now have. So there you go. All right. June writes in, no one knows. I agree. And this is in reference to what was said in these conversations, who actually made the decision. Woody, I just hope it was the football people that truly made this decision.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope it wasn't Woody. It's funny. I was watching, I'm all over the political stuff. I was watching the.
You're political, Joe? I didn't know.
Yeah, you never knew that. I was watching Fox News on Sunday morning. Maria Bartiromo was at a great show, Sunday Morning Futures. I love Maria. And she had Woody on. It was Super Bowl Sunday. She had Woody on, right?
Oh, he's not doing anything. Steve's not it.
Right. So, she introduced him. And first she's talking, a little political stuff. We're talking about the Super Bowl and all. And then she held him over after commercial. And I'm saying to myself, is she going to ask him about the team? Is she going to ask him about Aaron Rodgers? And she did. She point blank asked him about it, what's happening with Aaron Rodgers, right? Which I was pleasantly surprised. And you could see, and this is Sunday morning now, and this is live. I'm watching this and I'm looking at his face. His answer to this was, well, we're going to leave that up to the football people. This is what he said, all right? I'm paraphrasing, not exactly those words, but that's what he said. And I'm looking at his face, and I'm saying, I don't like the way he's saying that. And he had to know. Look, at 11 o'clock on Sunday morning, he knew Rodgers was gone. Let's be honest about it, And then it comes out a couple hours later that that's the case. So, Woody and I have a lot of things I like about Woody, but he is an absolute horrific owner. There's no other way to say it. Horrific owner.
You have to hope, just like Dolan, who finally hired the right people and got it right, that Woody did the same thing here.
It only took him 20 years, Dolan. Right. It's funny. The Knicks have gone from being the laughing stock of professional sports, and now they've given that mantle to the Jets.
Yes.
You know what I mean? They've moved it right along to another one of my teams. It's funny how that works.
Kashmir wants to know, would you trade the 7th pick for Kyler Murray?
No, I would not.
Peter Castro writes in.
I will say that. Yep. I say that immediately. It's an interesting
I think about it. I
think he's young enough that I should retract that and say that's an interesting thought. I will say that. Interesting.
Peter Castro says, if you think a rookie head coach made this decision, no way.
Right. Yeah, I agree. This was Woody. Woody made the call here. You can't tell me Glenn doesn't want to win next year. And you can't tell me Glenn doesn't know the best chance for me to win is bringing this guy back. So I think Woody made the call. I'm with you 100%.
JB writes in, Joe B failed us. He didn't fight hard enough for AR.
Yeah. Well, like they're going to listen to me. I mean, look, they hate me over there. Let's tell it like it is. I mean, the Jet people hate me. They hate me. You know, the writers don't like me. I mean, look, I get along good with Costello. I love Steve Serby and I go way back. You know, but the people at Florham Park, I mean, they can't stand me. Let's tell it like it is.
Donnie writes in, we need a consistent weekly show with you and Joe B. I mean, I love Joe. When you come on, it's the best, man. I love doing
Well, we do. We have during the football season.
Yeah.
I'm on every week with Jake, so we do have a consistent show during the season anyway.
By the way, I know it's not all bad for you. I mean, I know you're not thrilled with the contract, but you have Alonzo back for another year. That's good.
Yeah, I'm not thrilled with the contract. I think it's going to be a 1-year deal again. But yeah, I'm very happy. That's the one team I can get excited about. I mean, the Rangers are a disaster. And how about this stupid tournament? What is this garbage? What are they doing in the NHL?
Why is it only 4 countries? I didn't understand that.
To me, it's 4 countries too many. I mean, do I want guys from my team playing in these meetings? It's like Edwin Diaz at the World Baseball Classic. How'd that go? I don't want any part of that. But anyway, the Rangers stink. And let's be honest, okay? As good as the Knicks may be, the Knicks they can't beat Boston. Boston's blown them out twice. One game they lost to Cleveland. They got beat up by OKC, who's the best team in the league. The Knicks are on their way to another second-round flame-out. Let's be honest about it. Let's tell it like it is.
It's going to depend who they match up with in the second round. If they get Cleveland, maybe they could beat them. But Boston feels like the best team in the league.
Right. Boston's going to beat them again. So I'm not hanging my hopes up on that either.
Dan says the Jets have found their next quarterback this morning. Signed Joe Benigno.
Yeah. You don't want to meet me signing. I'll tell you what, you just have the ambulance ready, bro.
You think you got one snap in you, Joe? You could drop back once?
Maybe I got one snap where I turn around and hand the ball to Breece Hall. Maybe that's it.
We'll put you in shotgun. You'll have enough time. You just got to catch the ball, just hand it to Breece.
Oh my God, my arm shot. I used to be able to throw the ball pretty good when I was younger. I can't. Now my sports world is limited to golf, as you know.
Yep.
Golf and walking. That's about all I got at this point now.
Has Aaron Glenn reached out to play a round of golf with you as his head coach tradition?
I don't think he will. I don't think that's happening. Somehow I don't think that's happening. By the way, let me just tell you this. Not that he never responds to me because, Sal never responds to me anymore. But I did text him yesterday, and I won't say what I said, but I did text him.
I love it. You got to tell me off air where you told him.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I will say this. I basically told him, don't worry, Coach. Aaron Rodgers will be with you again. Don't worry.
That's incredible. Super chat here from Fiore. This is Paul, who's a huge fan of the show. He goes, don't overdraft the quarterback this year. The 26th class will be a lot better. 6 to 7 guys will have first-round grades. Play Tyrod or a vet this year. Try to win games for culture. Draft QB next year. Trade up if need be. I mean, that's one way to do it. I don't hate that idea. You know what I would do in that scenario then? I would try and trade out of 7 and get more picks. The plan is going to be to get the quarterback in 2026. I want to have as many picks as possible to make that deal.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I like I said, I would take a flyer. I would take a flyer on one of these guys. I can't wait anymore, man.
I
mean, you guys that are younger, you guys can wait, man. I can't wait. The clock's ticking on me. So, I want to win now. I can't take another double-digit loss season. I just can't take it. I can't take it anymore. It's 5 years in a row. I mean, enough already. Can we win? Can we have a winning season? I sign right now for 9-8. Give me a year. Give me something. Give me where we're playing meaningful games at the end of the year. You know what I mean, bro? I just don't see it. I don't see it.
100%. I mean, if you think about it, outside of the 2022 season when they were 7-4 after the Mike White win over the Bears.
And then they collapsed. Right.
And then they ended on a 6-game losing streak. But that year they were alive going into the second to last weekend of the season. Yeah. Since the Fitzpatrick year, that's the closest they've come to even being alive going into the last game of the season.
Right. That game in Minnesota when Berrios dropped that pass in the end zone, which turned out to be a killer. Then Mike White got hurt in Buffalo. That guy Milano, who I can't stand. May the Bills never get to a Super Bowl, by the way. Never. And he basically destroyed White, who still came out and played. You know my feeling on all of that.
By the way, I got to ask you this because, I went off on the show when this was happening. There were Jet fans that were actually rooting for the Bills in the in the AFC title game because they hated the Chiefs that much. And I thought that's nuts. I don't like the Chiefs either, but give me a break. You can't root for the Bills. The one thing the Jets have over the Bills is they've never won a Super Bowl. Don't give them the opportunity.
Yeah. I have nothing against the Chiefs. The Chiefs have done nothing to my team. My team has stunk. They're not in my division. It's not like I've gone head-to-head with them in the playoffs and none of that. So I have no great animosity toward the Kansas City Chiefs. I hate Buffalo. They're in my division. I can't stand them. I can't stand their fans. I can't stand the coach. I respect the quarterback, but screw them. Screw everybody in my. By the way, let me say this too. I got to say this is not related really to that, but Jalen Hurts, the Philadelphia Eagles drafted him with a second-round pick.
Yep.
I look back at that championship game when Saban pulled Hurts for Tua. And they won that game. I think it was Clemson who they were playing there.
I think it was Georgia.
And everybody thought, Tua's it's not even close who the better quarterback is. It's not even close. I mean, Jalen Hurts is 100% better than Tua, and he stays on the field where Tua gets hurt all the time. He's had the concussion issues. So that's funny how you look back at that, and clearly Jalen Hurts is the better player.
Doug writes in, Joe, you're a football historian. Did you see Brady play in college? Any idea why he fell to the 6th round? Followed the NFL.
That's the point. You see, that's my hope. It's funny. I actually went to a game out at Michigan, and Brady was backing up Drew Henson. Remember, Drew Henson was the big star at Michigan. They played baseball too. Everybody loved him.
Yeah.
Right. Everybody loved him, and all of this. He was backing up Henson. Nobody knew Brady was going to turn out to be the greatest quarterback of all time. Nobody knew that. And that's my point about these quarterbacks. That's why even if you take a flyer on a guy like Jackson Dart, I don't know how good he's going to be. He could turn out to be a Hall of Famer. We have no clue. So it's such an inexact science. I say this all the time. Joe Montana was a 3rd-round pick. Hurts is a 2nd-round pick. It doesn't always have to be an early pick in the 1st round. I mean, like I said, Lamar Jackson at the end of the 1st round. Look, Patrick Mahomes. Nobody thought he was this good because he would have been the 1st pick in the draft, right? So, I mean, come on. So nobody has an idea about these guys. It's a complete crapshoot. A lot of it has to do with where you wind up. If you wind up in the right organization with the right head coach and all of that, So I'm telling you, bro, I would take a flyer on one of these. I like Cam Ward better than I like Sanders, but I like Sanders too because Sanders he's got the bloodlines of his father, which is pretty good. And everything I've heard about him is he's really a top flight kid. He's not the wild man his father was in the old days. You know what I mean? That's what everything you hear about him. So
do you think Dion would be on board with sending his son to the Jets and their history with quarterback development?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, I felt all along he'd wind up with the Giants, and I still think that's probably what's going to happen. I saw a mock draft the other day, and these guys know as much about the draft as they know about painting houses. I mean, these guys that are these gurus, what the hell do they really know? I don't care how you rate the guy. Oh, I'm rating this guy, this and that. I mean, give me a break, all right? But I saw a mock draft where, and this would be stunning to me, where Tennessee and Cleveland would not take quarterbacks at 1 and 2, where Tennessee would take the kid from Penn State, the pass rusher, Mohammed Carter?
Abdul Carter.
Abdul Carter. That's it. They would take him, right? And Cleveland, who's next to the Jets, probably the next worst organization in the history of sports, Cleveland would take Travis Hunter. Then the Giants would take Ward, believe it or not. And this mock draft had Sanders falling to us at 7. Now, I doubt that's going to happen. I have no thinking that would happen. If that did, and they didn't take him, I'd be delirious. I'll tell you that. If anything like that happened, and you had a situation where you had Sadir Sanders falling to number 7 to us, you got to take him. You'd have to take him. Have to.
I think the problem the Jets could have with trading up is they really have to get to 1 or 2 because I can't see the Giants and Jets doing a deal, and New England's right after them at 4. So even if one of these guys start to fall, you're going to have to pay like the ultimate premium to do a deal with New England in your own division. That's why I don't think it will happen.
Well, that's not happening. New England doesn't need a quarterback anyway. They don't need a quarterback.
But they would still not want the Jets to potentially get their franchise quarterback.
Right. Well, that's true. No, you'd have to make the deal with either Tennessee or Cleveland. One of them.
Cost a lot. You'd have to trade a lot this year and probably at least 1 first-round pick next year for sure.
Well, I said that already. I said you give them a 1 this year maybe see if you could get away with a 1 and a 3 this year, switching your 1 and the 3, and then next year you give me number 1. I mean, I don't know if that'd be enough, but I don't know.
Would you include any players if that's what it took? Remember
Well,
when
I told you. I
Panthers
mean,
traded up?
I would consider trading Sauce Gardner because I'm very down on him. I think he's going to have a lot of help from Aaron Glenn, but I'm down.
He said he was at the facility this past week meeting all the coaches, and he's excited. He did give an interview last week.
Good. Let's hope. Glenn can turn him back around to, and let him be as good as Aaron Glenn, because I don't even know as good as him. I mean, Aaron Glenn was a terrific cornerback I told you, next to Darrelle Revis, he's the second best corner we ever had, Aaron Glenn.
Jets Carpetbagger writes in, if they knew they were moving on from Rodgers, why make him fly across the country just to send him home on a long flight? Save him the time and give him a call. I'd want to know so I didn't waste 2 days. Shake my head. That's what I want to know. Like, did they go in with an open mind?
Right.
Did they fly? They flew him in just for him to basically be told we're getting rid of you? Like, shouldn't they come to him to tell him that? Why is he going to them?
Well, I think the way I've come to see, at least what I've heard, and what do I know?
I have the Jay Glazer report. Have you seen it?
No, I have not seen Jay Glazer.
So this was Jay on Fox on Super Bowl Sunday. This is where it all came from. This was Jay breaking the news about Rodgers.
I'm going to shift gears here. I do have some breaking news right now to report on the show. That's what we do. And it involves another Super Bowl MVP, and that is Aaron Rodgers. And guys, I've learned that Aaron Rodgers flew back to New Jersey this week to meet with the Jets about his future. Met with the team head coach and the GM, only to be told that they want to move on from him. Now, the thing is, what does Aaron want as player or not? What happens? Did they trade him? Did they cut him? Whatever it is. But the fact that Aaron actually used his own plane to fly there to find out what the decision probably means that Aaron still wants to play another year, just not going to be for the Jets.
Well, I did hear that. And what I've heard from some of the other writers is that the Jets basically said, we'll take you back, but you can't be doing McAfee show. You can't miss the OTAs. I mean, this is what it sounds like to me. And then he wasn't going to commit to that. And, but like I said, that'll be okay when he goes to San Francisco or Pittsburgh or something. Somehow they'll be able to deal with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But our organization, which has been shit for 6 decades, we can't deal with that. You know what I mean?
It's just, it's one of those things where I want to know what specifically they were asking him to do, because he had said he'd be open to a pay cut, learn a new system again. The McAfee thing, I think, is so over. No one said a word when he was winning MVPs in Green Bay.
Right,
I don't think it's such a non-thing that people try to make a bigger deal. You know what I think it is? I think it's a lot of jealousy from people in the media that he has this exclusive on such a high-profile show, and they don't get it. Like, they don't get the first story with Rodgers every week.
And he gets $1 million a year to do it, right? I understand. And they're paying him big money to do it. I mean, look, to me, it's all nonsense, bro. It's all nonsense. And it's just a convenient excuse to try to, push him out of town. And that's really what the writers have been doing. The writers have been trying to get rid of this guy since going back to that report that that Woody wanted him benched after the Bronco game. Okay, well, we can go back to that. And it's really they've been trying to drive him out of town since that point.
If you have a question for Joe, last chance to get it read. Super chat it in. By the way, Joe, first time I've had you on since basically most of the coaching staff has been hired by Glenn. Your thoughts on Wilkes as the DC? They bring in Tanner Engstrand, who was the passing game coordinator for the Lions, as the OC, and then Chris Banjo, who Glenn knows from New Orleans. He was highly recommended by both Sean Payton and Mike Westhoff. He's now the new special teams coordinator.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Wilkes has a lot of experience. He was a head coach in Arizona. I think he was an interim coach with the Panthers. He was the defensive coordinator for the Niners, right? Last year or 2 years ago?
2 years ago, yeah. He was scapegoated for them blowing the game in the Super Bowl.
Right. They scapegoated Wilkes. They go to the Super Bowl, and then they lose, and they dump him. So, look, I mean, there's been a lot of guys that have been that have had that spot with the Niners. I mean, D'Amico Ryan's had that, and he's done a pretty good job. So I'm okay with Wilkes. I mean, I got no issue with it. We'll see. I got no issue with it. Funny that Sal is back there too. Yeah, and they'll win this year. The Niners, they will.
100%.
They'll be in the playoffs for sure. You know that.
It sounds like Salah had a legitimate chance to get the Jacksonville job. Like, he was a finalist for that.
Why would he want that job though? I mean,
what head coaching job is he going to get if not that one?
Yeah, well, you did have Trevor Lawrence, but then Trevor Lawrence is, for all we heard about was the generational talent. He hasn't been so freaking generational. Let's be honest about it.
No, well, we use that word way too much in football. Generational.
And that goes back to all the stuff about, that they didn't get the first pick in the draft that year because they beat the Rams and they beat the Browns and all of that. How good is Trevor Lawrence? We'd be complaining. If we had Trevor Lawrence now, all we'd be doing is bitching about, that this guy didn't turn out to be as good as we thought he was.
Yep.
That's what we'd be complaining about.
Dan wants to know your thoughts on Glenn bringing in Teddy Two Gloves, Teddy Bridgewater, as a possible option.
Nah, Teddy Bridgewater's his day. I mean, come on. I mean, his day is come and gone, hasn't it? Right, that's been discussed.
No, I think people are just trying to connect the dots to someone with Aaron Glenn ties because
you want to bring Jared Goff in? I'm in.
I'll take Goff. Yeah,
Jared, you want to get Jared Goff away from the Lions? I'm good to go.
Why stop there? Is Mahomes available? He didn't play well. Maybe his trade value is a little.
Yeah, it's funny how they're ripping Mahomes now. I mean, Mahomes was under siege the entire game, and now he's not any good. It's funny. He's only been to 5 Super Bowls and won 3.
You think Brady was secretly enjoying watching that as he's calling the game?
Yeah, I'm sure Brady didn't want to see him win because then Mahomes would have done something that Brady never did. Winning 3 in a row. So probably was.
Jasmine wants your thoughts on. Remember Adrian Martinez from the preseason last year, Joe, as an option.
Wasn't he a kid from Nebraska?
Yeah, he was on the practice squad, I think, this year.
Right. Yeah, I don't remember. No, I mean, I don't think that's an option. No. Adrian Martinez. No, that's not working.
Jordan Travis is interesting. I don't think he has a legit chance, but if he's healthy, it'd be nice to at least see what he looks like in OTAs and minicamp.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to actually be able to get on the field this year.
Right.
I mean, who knows? He was a good quarterback at Florida State till he got injured. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what his situation is. I can't. To me, he's not even on a team until I see him actually playing. You know what I mean?
Beagle Tree says thoughts on Will Levis if he becomes expendable.
Oh, please stop. Will Levis.
I'm good on Levis.
I don't want Will Levis. I'm sorry. No. Thank you. No thanks.
Some comments here about Daniel Jones.
See that dumb commercial Will Levis does?
Mayo, because he puts mayo in his coffee. That's
mayo. That's right. It's a mayonnaise commercial. Will Levis. Oh my God.
You want Daniel Jones? Jeff Kevin is writing about Daniel Jones. It'd be funny if they brought him in. Then you have the 2022 Giants quarterback room.
Yeah. One thing about Daniel Jones, I will say. Okay, I think there's a lot of potential there for Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones never had an offensive line. Daniel Jones went through how many different coaches did this guy have? I think he has talent. And here's one thing to remember. All right, and this is why I don't completely dismiss him, even though I think would never want to be in New York anymore. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he'd look at it differently if he's playing for the other team. Maybe he'd say, okay, I'm going to stick it to this other team and show him how good I was. When it comes to quarterbacks, and we've seen this over and over again, we've seen it with Geno. We've seen it with Sam Darnold. You go back to guys like Vinny Testaverde, Rich Gannon, even Jim Plunkett, going back that far. So many times we have seen quarterbacks, their first 5, 6, whatever it is, years, 7 years, they're not that good. They learn to mature. They learn the position under the right situation. And now they're 29, 30 years old, and all of a sudden they found it. So that's why I would not be totally against Daniel Jones. I think he's got some talent. I know he can run. He's got a pretty good arm, and he's never had an offensive line. Let's be honest. So I would, I'm not completely against him. I don't love it, but of all the other names that could be thrown in, all the other names we threw out here, okay, I'll take Daniel Jones before I take Kirk Cousins because I think there's an upside maybe still to Daniel Jones. There is no upside to Kirk Cousins.
I'd like one of the guys they add, right? You have Tyrod. I'd want someone like Fields or even like Jones because of what you're saying. Do I think they're going to be good? No, but there's at least upside there.
There is an upside.
Right. Like if you're going to swing big or swing whatever, like get a guy who's young who does have talent, like what we saw Baker and Darnold do these last couple of years. Like that would be the blueprint for me. Get a stable guy like Tyrod or someone else.
They should have signed Baker way back when. Because
I give you credit. Baker. You wanted him too. You called it too.
Baker's he's got big balls, Baker. He does have some talent. He's won. I mean, the guy's been in the playoffs now. He's been, he was even in the playoffs with Cleveland.
Yep.
People forget that. And if you go back to that playoff game, they beat Pittsburgh in a playoff game. And then they gave the Chiefs a very tough game in that playoff game a couple of years ago. But I think it was in the 2019 season. That's when it was, right? 2019, because 19's the year that we drafted was Zach, right? Wasn't it 19? Well, what year did we draft?
Zach was 2021.
Oh, 21. Okay. So
Darnold was 18.
That was Darnold. That was Darnold. Right. But you go back to, he made the playoffs with Cleveland. He made the playoffs now 2 years in a row in Tampa. So they should have signed Baker Mayfield, but obviously that's gone now.
Someone wrote in Jimmy G. Any interest in him?
No. Always hurt. Gets hurt all the time. He's another guy, he's another guy that was he was part of the system in San Francisco, as far as I'm concerned. And
hilarious.
He also learned under the Patriot situation too. So
he did.
But he gets hurt all the time. He's always hurt.
I mean, it'd be hilarious if they brought him in and then Tyrod is the other guy. You're trying to basically piece together 17 games with two guys who never play that long. So maybe
I'm telling you, Daniel Jones to me is an intriguing guy. I will say that. As crazy as that may sound, people say I'm out of my mind. He's an intriguing guy, Daniel Jones. And you would get a guy like him with a chip on his shoulder. I always like these guys that got something to prove, and he clearly does. And he's still young enough. How old is he? 29, 30? How old is Daniel Jones? He can't be much more than 30, maybe 31.
He's probably younger.
And quarterbacks play a long time, bro, as we know.
27, Daniel Jones.
That's what he is?
He turns 28 in May. Happy birthday in a few months.
Daniel Jones is, again, I mean, people say, wait, you out of your mind? Well, 28 years old, and, he's been through the ringer already. He's learned a lot. He sat there under O'Connell last year watching Darnold. Maybe he learned something about playing the position there, even though he wasn't playing. It's not crazy. It's not crazy.
Clancy with the last super chat for Joe. He says, Joe B, rank these heavy hitters. Easton Stick, CJ Beathard, Jimmy G String, Teddy Two Gloves, Andy Red Rocket Dalton, Jets baby, LMFAO.
Who's
Clancy's
Easton Stick? Who is that?
Where is he the back? He's a backup somewhere. Let me find out where Easton Stick
That's
is.
the guy's name? Easton Stick?
Yeah, he's the Chargers backup. I
never even heard of him.
He played at North Dakota State.
Wow.
He was a fifth-round pick in 2019.
Teddy Two Gloves is who? Bridgewater?
Yeah.
No. Andy Dalton?
He's got red hair, Joe.
Seriously, there's no upside on any of these guys. I don't know who Easton Stick is, so I can't really speak to him. But, I mean, all these other guys, I'm telling you, the more I think about it, the guy that's out there that has the biggest upside is Daniel Jones. Think about that.
I still think Fields is that guy, but I don't know if they're going to be able to get Fields because someone's going to pay him probably more than the Jets could allocate.
In Pittsburgh, who's their quarterback? Unless they got Rodgers.
Rodgers, yeah.
Right.
Watch.
Because Russell Wilson's shot. I mean, I wouldn't even forget about Russell Wilson.
By the way, so assuming Rodgers doesn't go to a team in the division, will you root for his success? Because I will. I want to see him do well. Like I really, because I have no ill will towards the guy. He wanted to be here
towards him, but it would really tick me off that he's having a big year after we dumped him. I will say that. Similar to Brett Favre.
But at least the Jets were good that year. That Sanchez, like they were winning with Rex. And Favre didn't want to be a Jet. Rodgers wanted to be here, and he wanted to come back based on all the reports.
Right. Now, look, I'm not again. Look, I have no animosity toward Rodgers. I have none. But it would still bother me if he went out and have a big year. And what would even bother me more is you'd hear now all these idiots that wanted to get rid of him. Right? Oh my! Look at Rodgers. And then they try to tell you, well, that wouldn't happen with the Jets. That would be that wouldn't happen there. Sure, because the Jets stink and the organization's a disaster.
Of course. I mean, if Rodgers plays elsewhere, get ready for him to take that team to the playoffs. You can see it now.
It's 100%. If he winds up in Pittsburgh or San Francisco or something, he's not going to. I've heard the Raiders. He's not going to the Raiders. The Raiders aren't any good. He's going to go somewhere where he can win now. Let's be real. He ain't going to another project team. So I don't see him, going to the Raiders. I understand Pete Carroll's the coach there, but I don't see it.
There's only a few teams that offer that, though. So he might have to take a team that's not as good if he truly just wants to play.
Well, Pittsburgh makes sense to me. They don't have a quarterback. They got a great head coach, and they got a winning tradition.
How about Cleveland? They're going to need a quarterback because Watson's going to be hurt.
Maybe they don't want to go to freaking Cleveland.
They have a good roster. I mean, they were in the playoffs a year ago.
Well, Myles Garrett wants out.
That's true, too.
He wants out. Now, who's their quarterback? Deshaun? Man, really? Oh, my God.
He's going to be hurt. He re-ruptured his Achilles, so he's probably done all next year already.
What a disgrace that is.
That's karma right there. You talk about karma a lot. That's karma.
Right. If the Jets are 1 as far as the worst organization in sports, the Browns are 1A. The Browns are right there. And they're very right there.
Tough to argue that. A quick hitter for you on the way out, Joe. You've been watching St. John's. I mean, we got a real basketball team.
I've been watching St. John's. I love it. I love what Patino's doing.
He wears the suits. I know you like the suits.
It's tremendous. Occasionally he'll wear the pajamas, but basically he's wearing a suit and tie all the time. They're playing great and the thing I love about them is the way they don't shoot threes. They're an old school basketball team. It's medium range jump shots. It's big time defense. They hammer the glass. They're a legitimate team. I mean, they're a team that can make a really big run. I think they have a chance to, keep playing the way they're playing. They have a chance to be, maybe a 1 or 2 seed. I don't think that's nuts. And I didn't see the rankings come out yet. Where are they ranked? What are they, like 7th now? 8th? Where are they now?
I think they cracked the. They're in the top 10.
They're definitely in the top 10. Yeah, they're either 7th or 8th, I think, something like that. I haven't seen the AP rankings yet. I got the paper upstairs. I got to look. I got the paper from yesterday. Monday. They usually have the rankings.
Number 9, first time that they
Is that where they are? 9. St. John's is 9.
Yeah, first time in 34 years they've been ranked that high.
Well, they should be. They should be up there. There's no doubt about it. Big game tomorrow for them. Play Villanova tomorrow in Philly, and then they got Creighton over the weekend. They play Creighton at the Garden, the only team that beat them in the Big East so far. They play Creighton in the Garden on Sunday, so that'll be an interesting game for them. They still got to play UConn again. They still got to play Marquette at Marquette. So they got some tough games coming up yet.
Nate wrote it. Joe's one of the 100 people who still gets the newspaper in 2025. Awesome.
I am. I'm an old school guy, man. I don't have my phone on me right now, but I got the old school flip phone, which I call my smartphone, and I love every second of it. I got to tell you that. No, I read the Post. The Post is the only paper you can read. The Daily News is just basically left wing propaganda. So, let's be.
They don't have a sports section really either.
It's just about every paper that's not the New York Post. So we'll leave it at that. Maybe the Wall Street Journal. Maybe.
I was going to text you like a meme that came out, something funny about the Jets, but I was like, Joe's not probably going to be able to receive this on the flip phone, so I didn't bother. Can you get pictures on your phone?
You got to send it to Terry.
She'll show you? All right.
Yeah, send it to her. She'll show it to me. Right.
I love it. Joe, you're the best. I appreciate you hopping on. The second this Rodgers news broke, I had people yesterday on my show be like, where's Joe? Where's Joe? I go, he's coming on. Don't worry. We got him Tuesday morning. So I appreciate you, Joe.
I appreciate it, bro. I love you. Anything for you, my man. And I guess the next time we'll talk maybe free agency, maybe when we find out who our freaking quarterback's going to be. But I can't take another crappy year. That's all I can tell you. I can't take it.
Let's hope that they surprise us, I guess. So I'm right there with you.
Don't hold your breath, all right? Just remember, I'll leave you with this. This is and I say this, I've been saying this for a lot of years. Expect the worst. You're never disappointed.
Joe, all the love.
All of it, my boy. God bless. See you, baby.
The great Joe Benigno, the Other Pain podcast. Joe had a podcast that came out yesterday on Rodgers, so check that out. It's on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Hit the like button for Joe. We're presented today by SeatGeek. If you want tickets for St. John's, for the Knicks, the Rangers, the Islanders, the Devils, the Nets, any New York sports team, if you want tickets for any concert, Broadway show, stand-up act, you name it, SeatGeek has it all. Download the SeatGeek app right now. You'll see all the different ticket options they have for whatever you're looking for. And when you're there, you'll see they actually rank the deals you're getting on the seats. If you see a green dot in a section you're looking at for tickets, that means it's a good deal relative to other tickets being listed in that area. So look for the green dots when you're searching for your tickets. And guess what? If you've never used SeatGeek before, now's the time to do it, because I'm offering all Asmaniacs $20 off your first purchase with the SeatGeek app when you use promo code Jake Asman at checkout. That's right. Jet season might be over, but we're right there in the mix for every other sport going on. Plus, we're not that far away from baseball for all you Yankee and Met fans out there. So shout out to SeatGeek for being a part of our show. Download the SeatGeek app, and I'm telling you, use that promo code Jake Asman, and I will save you $20 with your first SeatGeek order. Once again, SeatGeek, download the app and use promo code Jake Asman for $20 off. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Let's get right into your calls on our Gustbuster Umbrella Hotline. We say hello to Alex, who's first up. Alex, where have you been, man? How are you?
Hey, first time, long time. How have you been?
I mean, it feels like it, man. I haven't seen you, heard you in a long time.
And
Appreciate you calling in.
This last season was way too stressful. I just I just was along for the ride, and it was rough. Yeah, it's been a while. I mean, look, I'm happy with the Glenn hire. Like I would have loved for them to have interviewed more offensive coaches, but I'm happy that we ultimately landed on Glenn. I think he's going to be great for the culture fit. Look, I was low on Saleh, and I was criticizing the Jets after last year pretty hard.
You were right. You were right. Honestly, in hindsight, I wanted
and Keith Carter.
Yeah.
Keith Carter might be the worst position coach the Jets have ever had. I don't mean to exaggerate that.
No, 100%. I in hindsight, I wish I was more critical of Saleh, but yeah, what are you going to do? I wanted to believe, right? He won 7 games without a quarterback, and
I also wanted Tibbs fired after year 2 at the Knicks. So I'm wrong plenty on this stuff. You just never know. So, and I don't think Tibbs is perfect, but Tibbs has obviously made such a massive difference for the Knicks. I think with the Rodgers decision, look. I genuinely do believe this was up to Glenn and Muji. I'm going to take Woody at his word that he didn't interfere. And that's, at least for now, I find that hard to imagine. It seems like there is a clear trust when it comes to Glenn. I'm just looking at the moves they're making right now, bringing in Spielman, bringing in George Payton's brother. These are all moves that are clearly designed to improve the front office and are, Glenn's coaches. You see the guys he's bringing in, I haven't seen any signs they're meddling. So I am hoping that that's not the case with Rodgers as well.
We just started though. I mean, Woody's not going to meddle yet. I mean, he just hired these guys.
Yeah. I mean, even in the case of Douglas and Saleh, look, Woody should never meddle, but Douglas got a few years. Douglas got a few years to figure this out. And, once the big mistake Woody made with Douglas and Saleh was instead of firing them, he decided to meddle last year or two. At that point, if you're going to meddle, just fire them. Don't, get in there and start meddling. Just fire them and bring in a new person. Because at that point, you don't trust the people you have hired. So I think ultimately with Rodgers, Jake, I mean, look, it's a complicated decision. I mean, I know, some of the off the field stuff gets overplayed a little bit. I think a big thing with Rodgers is, look, if he came back next year, even if he was willing to accept a new offensive system, he was willing to redo his contract. Let's assume he was willing to do all of those things. I think there's still the notion that, Rodgers, just kind of because of who he is, right? He's a Hall of Fame quarterback. He's one of the best to ever do it. He's going to be the center of attention. And he, this coming season, of course, the talent's there. I still think the talent is there. I don't think he's an upper echelon quarterback anymore, but, I think, you could technically win games with him if you improve some of the elements around him. But, I think the decision is, look, Glenn and Muji, I hate to say it as a Jets fan, because it's been a 14-year drought and, it can't be over soon enough, but there also needs to be a way to think long-term. I think the Jets, you can be critical of this decision, but I think you can also say, look, the Jets did what they could to make Aaron successful. They brought in his coaches. They brought in Lazard. They brought in all these guys he's very comfortable with. It didn't work out ultimately. I mean, as soon as what happens 4 plays into last season happened, unfortunately, it just kind of marked the beginning of the ends. And I wish him luck. We'll see what happens. I mean, I think Pittsburgh's a possibility. I think he might, end up retiring, but I'm going to give the leeway here to these guys to figure out the quarterback position. I don't think there's an easy solution in the draft this year, but if you do something like keep Tyrod, I would consider bringing in Jameis Winston. I know people are going to disagree on that, but you want someone who can at least provide you a spark on offense. I mean, what Jameis is. Obviously, we know what his downside is, but what his upside is. And the fact that, you want to make Garrett Wilson happy. I think Jameis is going to make Garrett Wilson plenty happy. You saw what Jerry Jeudy did with him. I mean, you've never seen Jerry Jeudy play near to that level until he was with Jameis. So I'm not saying Jameis is some amazing option, but amongst the options that we have here, I think he's someone to consider. So, hey, great to speak with you, Jake.
Alex, appreciate you calling in, man. Call back anytime. Look, Jameis Winston's a friend of the show now. So, if he wants to be the Jet quarterback, that's fine. I mean, if you brought in Winston with Tyrod, if you're not going to draft a quarterback, or maybe even if you still draft a quarterback and then that guy gets a true redshirt year, because that's it. If they trade up, like what Joe's saying, for Shedeur or Cam, I don't want him playing right away. Let's do this right. Let's let these guys sit and actually learn. All right. Let's do it the right way. The two guys in the Super Bowl didn't play right away. Now, the last time the Jets actually had a first-round quarterback sit and learn was Pennington, and that worked. Now, he's not going to sit for 3 years like Chad did, but those days don't happen anymore. But sit for a year. Or sit for most of the year till you're out of it, and then let the guy get some valuable reps. Like Eli's rookie year when they had Kurt Warner. Philly Noodle says, but I got called crazy when I said Danny Dimes. I don't want Daniel Jones as the starter. If you told me that they brought him in to compete with someone, I'll listen to that. I don't love it, though. I do agree he does have upside, but I'd rather Fields if we're going to do that. Donnie says, Fields can run and throw the ball to Garrett Wilson. We should be fine. I don't know if you just go, oh, he played at Ohio State, so Garrett's just going to get the ball. Fields got to work on his passing. That's been his issue. He's not the most accurate passer. Fab 5 Freddy, Woody's a joke. Hey, Joe, who do we sign as pitcher? Well, sorry, Fab. You sent this when Joe was already off the show. JV writes in, has there been any announcement from the Jets? No, you're being played. Rodgers is back. I like this conspiracy, JV. I don't believe that happened. I think if you believe that, you're just trying to talk yourself into something that's not real. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. For those of you just tuning in, reminder that we have another prize that has been added to our weekly raffle. A signed Don Maynard helmet. And look how old school this is, right? It's the old school looking Jet helmet for Maynard. Signed Maynard helmet added to the arsenal of prizes to go with the signed Corbett jersey, signed Curtis Martin helmet, and last but certainly not least, two other prizes for you. Joe Willie Namath Super Bowl ring and Aaron Glenn signed card. The Glenn signed card, I purchased these displays for the cards, so it will come protected in a case, and it will go in one of these things. So you can put it right on a shelf or on the man cave. So I will send that with whoever wins. Gift a membership to be in or send a $20 super chat, and that is the equivalent of 5 raffle entries. More of your calls right now. Let's say hello to June the GM. Hello, June.
Jake, I refuse to show my face until I get clarity of how the conversation with Aaron Glenn and Aaron Rodgers went. I refuse. I need clarity. But I do want to say something. How could you sit there, Jake? You're a man of dignity and accept Joe say that he would take Daniel Jones if Joe B on what's wrong with that? Is he crazy? Could you imagine losing Aaron Rodgers and starting Daniel Jones? Listen, if Daniel Jones becomes a Jet, I'm leaving the bag on all season. I'm done. That's it.
Now, June, I don't want Daniel Jones either. I would take him maybe as the backup, I guess. I don't want him to start, though. I just, I understand Joe's point about the upside thing. Like, no one thought Sam was going to do what he did. No one thought necessarily Baker was going to do what he did. It's basically trying to follow that model of here's a top 6 pick in the draft with talent. Can a change of scenery after learning from Kevin O'Connell help him? Probably not. I just don't. I understand the thought process.
I'd rather start anybody in the NFL than Daniel. I can't stand Daniel Jones' face. I want to punch him in the face every time I see him. My friend's a Giant fan, and he wanted to punch him in the face every time. I hate Daniel Jones. I hate Duke. I'm a North Carolina Tar Heel fan.
That's what this is about. I get it. I was
look, I'm a Tar Heel fan in basketball. I used to like James Worthy, but I hate Daniel Jones. Please don't bring him up no more, please. I'm trying to gather my thoughts here, Jake. You think you're the only one suffering, Jake? You know how it feels, Jake, when I seen the most handsome man in America, Aaron Rodgers, leave? What? I'm hurting, man. I'm hurting. I didn't even want to have sex. I don't want nothing. I told my wife, get away from me. I'm sleeping on the couch. I can't take it, man. I'm losing it, man. I'm going crazy.
You turned down sex because of Aaron Rodgers?
Yes, I'm done. I don't want no human connection. I'm hurting.
Well, man, I hope you change your mind so I can play this next time you're on.
Hey, congrats on the sex.
Why? Do you have any information, Jake, if how the conversation went? Did Aaron Glenn go in there cocky saying, hey, I just wanted you to fly in to tell you I'm done, man? Did he give him a real opportunity to did they have a chance to connect? How did the talk go? Nobody's saying nothing. And that's what pisses me off about these freaking Jets. They never give us clarity. We don't know what's happening.
June, hang in there, man. I'll tell you what. We'll get more information, but no one knows. That, like, the fact that Glazer had this report, let's think about the timeline that day. Schefter and Judy Battista, each on their own networks, come out and say, it's unlikely that Rodgers is back. That wasn't a new report, though. It was always unlikely Rodgers was going to be back with a new regime. I disagree with him being back, but I'm not surprised that he's not back. That's been my point. So I'm not surprised. But then Glazer is the only one who had, hey, not only did they meet, but they said, we're done with you. He's the only one that had that. And no one was able to even really confirm that story beforehand. Like, there was no like, oh, he already met with them. No one knew. And then it was after people saying, I can confirm the Jets did meet with Rodgers. Like, that's what the beat was doing after. They never break it. They always confirm big stories like that. So it didn't get out. So I don't think they're going to have any details of what was said in this meeting until Rodgers himself probably addresses it on McAfee maybe next week. I think Pat said yesterday, because he said that Aaron's out of the country. So I don't think we get more details on what was said until that. Because I don't think Aaron Glenn is calling up Rich Cimini or Brian Costello and giving them stuff. They're not going to help them. They don't need to know. That's not how this is going to work. The combine will know more when these guys talk off the record. Just being there, knowing how that works, that's when you'll get probably a lot more detail. D-Rock writes in that I only put people on that agree with me. I guess you didn't watch the shows the last couple of days when I've gone back and forth with many callers. Why don't you call on D-Rock? There's a bunch of people on hold right now. You'll cut the line and go on right away. But you have no balls, no spine. You're a coward, and you won't call in. Prove me wrong. Call in if you disagree with me. But you won't. I already know how this works. It's the same people every time. More of your calls right now. Let's say hello to Adam, who's next. Hey, Adam.
Hey, man. Sorry about yesterday. I did get spooked. I thought you kicked me, actually. I was like, oh,
hey, no. You had a chance to host the show solo.
Oh, no, I don't have the guts for that. That's why I admire your work. So, but anyway, I was really on a tear at some point. But I was doing a little bit of research, and I was thinking about it. Yeah, if the options in the free agency class are not good, can we stop looking? It's not there, because we're not going to go to a bad choice just because we're desperate. And if we were looking for a veteran quarterback, well, guess what? We have one. His name's Tyrod Taylor. So he's that fit. We don't need to look for another version of, a veteran bridge quarterback. We have one. So then the question is, well, we got to look at the draft. And I was thinking about what Aaron Glenn said about what he's looking for a quarterback. You might remember, like, the first press conference said, you're looking for a winner. Remember, I think that was what he was saying. Someone that wins. And that was like his leading indicator. So I was doing a little bit of homework, and I'm sure some other folks may have brought this up, but I actually was looking at stats on the old Bill Parcells rules list. And if people think that's irrelevant these days, Brock Purdy fit those criteria, by the way, and he was a very, very late round pick, as we all know. So is there anybody that meets the criteria of the Parcells list that is a proven winner? And believe it or not, Will Howard meets those criteria, interestingly enough. And I think it'll be very challenging as the GM to, if that's where they're going to go. And again, I don't know if that's the pick I would make, but I think from a criteria standpoint, his stats were better than Mark Sanchez's, and Mark Sanchez made it to the playoffs. So is the bar really that high to get somebody out of college, or are you just looking for someone with high enough football IQ that has a proven track record of winning? And every year college football gets more and more competitive. Ohio State won, which was very impressive, and he was the quarterback that gets a lot of credit for it. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're looking in that direction, and whether we agree with it or not, it's not really our call, but I think that's what they're thinking. I don't think they're looking to another vet, but we can continue to pull our hair out at the options, but if the options are bad, let's not settle.
Yeah, Will Howard's intriguing because of obviously what he did at Ohio State, but he's played a lot of college football. He's kind of like Bo Nix from the standpoint of like a guy who's been in college a while, has a lot of, maybe not the highest of upside, but he's a steady hand. So I'd be interested in Will Howard. I like him. Kyle McCord intrigues me, ironically.
Check out the stats, because it's interesting when you look at his stats compared to Mark Sanchez's. Even his stats line up to Pennington, and you can say, objectively speaking, Will Howard had more accomplishments last year than Pennington.
I don't like using stats in college, though, especially different eras. Like, the game is so different now. I just think if you look at Will Howard, he's got the size you look for in a quarterback. He's got the experience,
True.
He comes from a winning program. Ryan Day's a former NFL quarterback coach. He was coaching him up at Ohio State. I look at a guy who's 6'4", 235, has a lot of experience. You could sell me on Will Howard. He's an above-average athlete. I don't hate it.
Yeah, I think that might be what we do. The question is if that's who they want. And again, this is, total speculation. If that's who they want, that would make sense. And it'd be curious to see if that's what they do, if they can execute that plan. If not, hopefully they'll find someone else that kind of has that criteria, because that's what you'd look for in a rookie QB, someone with football IQ that's not going to ruin the game, because that's exactly what they had to coach Mark Sanchez on, and it got the results it needed. Remember, they had the traffic light wristband that he had back in the day, in terms of helping him, manage risk as a quarterback. So that's my hope, because I don't think they're looking to a vet. I think we should stop thinking that, Terod's going to be the full-time answer. But if he's a bridge, I'm good with that. Or if the rookie outplays him like Brock Purdy did, I'm good with that too. That's my hope.
I appreciate it. Good call. Super chat from Burkinator, who writes in, donation towards June's shrink. I'm concerned. You're going to need to donate more than $2 to his shrink. That's probably not a great shrink if $2 gets it done for a session. Hey, where's that guy Dan who says I don't take people with opposite viewpoints to me? He still hasn't called in. Gee, I wonder why. Guess you're new to the show around here. Not. Super chat from Burkinator. Fields coming out of Pittsburgh, better organization, has even more upside, better feet than Jones, good arm, better season, more confidence. Yeah, I agree. I would take Fields over Daniel Jones. I don't think Justin Fields is going to be a Jet. He's going to have better opportunities to play. I think guys, prepare yourself for Tyrod Taylor or Kirk Cousins. That's where this is headed. So all you people who didn't want Rodgers, that's what you're signing up for a year. Unless they do the Joe B thing and trade up for a quarterback. And then if they don't do that, maybe they do it at the end of round 1 or they do it on day 2. That's realistically where we're headed here. Just prepare yourself for that. More of your calls right now. The great Ricky NY is next. Hello, Ricky.
Hey, what's going on, Jake? Initially, I wanted Rodgers back because, like you, I think that Rodgers probably gave us our best chance to win right now. Apparently, Aaron Glenn and Moogie, they're taking the long view. They're not just thinking about this year. They're thinking about long term. I think is probably the reason for this decision. And, I have confidence in the staff. It's clear that they obviously have a direction, a vision that they're going to pursue. And, I'm not going to bash Joe Douglas real bad because he did some good things. But the more that I have thought about it, Joe Douglas, he had one really good draft, but he found us some good players. He made some impeccable trades, but off-season Joe Douglas and during the season Joe Douglas were polar opposites. It was like the guy had a split personality. Once the year started, he stopped doing anything. During the year, he wouldn't get us a new kicker. He wouldn't get us a backup quarterback the year behind. During the year, it's like once the year started, he thought his job was over with. I think he thought his job was only during the offseason. And it's really crazy that, he seemed so efficient during the offseason sometimes, but then did just nothing during the season.
He missed on too many big decisions, Ricky. He did a lot of good with drafting and trades and some free agent signings, but the critical decisions you got to get right to be successful. Quarterback, head coach, he botched. And think about his first 2 picks in the first round. Mekhi Becton and Zach Wilson. And because they missed on those first 2 picks, they were basically trying to rectify those mistakes the rest of his tenure, and they never got it right.
Well, you know what? And everybody needs to pay real close attention to that Zach Wilson pick. Because what did we do? We talked ourselves in to what seemed to be the best option in a bad quarterback class, which is exactly what we have this year. So I'm not letting myself get talked into some Jackson Dart or something else. It would be really nice. And I hope that Travis can come back. We don't know. Now, I do have faith that there won't be the same lack of transparency with Glenn as there was with Salah to what's going on with him. But you know what? I think they bring in, a Fields, a Winston, somebody for this year. And then next year, when there is a very strong quarterback class, that's when we get our guy. And I'm not worried about, well, what if we win X amount of games and we're not a top 10? You know what? If we're picking 12 or 14 and there's a Drew Aller there at 9, it's easy enough to move up. You can still get a quarterback. I'm just going to put my confidence in Glenn and the direction they're going. I'm not going to stress myself out. And unlike June, I am definitely not swearing off sex because of what the Jets do. Okay. If my wife was here, she'd tell you, like, when things blow up and everything is going wrong, my wife will say, how can you still want to do anything? And I'll be like, because I want to say that at least there was one awesome thing that happened today. So I'm definitely not swearing off the sex, but I'm gonna hang in there. I'm gonna put my faith in Glenn and the direction they're gonna take us, and let's see what happens, man. Go Jets.
Ricky, I appreciate you calling in and confirming that you still, in fact, have sex.
Not a problem.
Hey, congrats on the sex.
Thank you very much, Ricky. Look, that's the stuff you won't find anywhere else. All right. Ricky, NY, confirmed, still having sex. Ladies and gentlemen, how about this from Frank P? A 20 spot of channel memberships. 20 raffle entries. Let's go.
It's the Asmaniac membership raffle. For every membership gifted, you receive 1 ticket entered in the raffle to win epic prizes.
Let's go, baby. Put your chin straps on. Here we go. Jets football. Frank P. 20 raffle entries. Thomas Roseman, Mr. Downtown. M. Thorne. Ulysses Gonzalez. Jet Strong, 1273. Alex G. Crow Razan. Tom Ruck. Shooter McNuggets. Paul Taxter. Hey, Paul, I sent out your prize. I think you got the AG signed photo, but whatever you got, I did send it out yesterday at UPS. Christopher Phillips. Sean. Mrs. Rogers, Phil, NY Jets Man Cave, Black Fire, Stephen James, Tyrod Taylor. What's up, QB1? Frank Whitmayer. I might have been 20. I don't know. I do know this. Thank you very much to Frank P. He's in our raffle for 20. He's the first person to gift during this show, so I appreciate that. All right. Ugh. God. More of your calls now. Let's see who's on the line here. Ladies and gentlemen, Neil is next. Hello, Neil.
Jake, how you doing?
I'm good, Neil. How are you?
Oh, I feel like June. But June, I have a word to say with you if you're still listening. If I had to swear off sex for every year we sucked as a team, I wouldn't have had 4 kids. I certainly would have had a hell of a lot more money. But, look, swearing off sex is not something you do if you're a Jet fan, because every one of us, Joe B and all the OGs, we'd be a bunch of virgins running around. Or, that's just not the answer. All right. It's just, a frustrating time. I listen to, the last caller. What's his name?
Ricky?
Ricky. And, I know he likes Aaron Glenn. I know he's going to give him the benefit of the doubt. But by the sound of that game plan, we're not going to be legitimate until after 2028 when we decide to finally get that's assuming we get a good pick in the 26th draft on one of these quarterbacks. Because, again, we're not going to know who the hell's good, who's not good. One thing I know for sure, Arch Manning will never be a Jet because, Archie Manning hates the Jets. He didn't let Peyton Manning come here. He's certainly not going to let or be involved. I know it's not his direct child, but he's not going to be a Jet. So that's out. So we're going to have to settle on who we're going to get in the draft. And certainly any of these kids coming out of college, the last place they want to go is to the Jets, because look what we did to Zach and Sam Darnold and all these other quarterbacks.
Yeah, but that's not.
Yeah, I know. I'm assuming
someone.
we're going to establish a new culture and we'll be a desired destination, hopefully. And I do believe that the coaching will be better, but I still am, at the point now where I just don't see any path here of us having any sort of winning season next year. And
Neil, repeat after me: 4-13. Embrace it. All right, it's our destiny. All right, and if everyone out there trying to deny it, that's fine. But take a step back, smell it, sniff it. You could smell the 4 wins from here, and that's what they want. Fine.
But I will say one thing to you. I will say this: Joe B had a really. I know not a lot of people are going to like it, but if we're going to suck anyway, I'd rather take Daniel Jones hope. Wait a minute, Jake. I'm going to hope amongst hope that he has some kind of revival and it sticks it right up the rear ends of the Giant fans because, like Saquon Barkley, that's the only reason I would want him because, and I'm going to tell you something. He runs just as good as the Bears guy. What's his name?
Fields.
He's just as good a runner as Fields. Okay. He's got a better arm than Fields. He's going to have a better completion percentage as Field. He's very durable. And the guy's never played. Let's face it. He's never had a top receiving core. He's never had a good offensive line. His offensive line has always sucked. And, he's only 27 years old. Let's give him a shot. I don't see any other option. What other option is there? To me, Daniel Jones just went to the top of the shit canal of bridge quarterbacks. No. In my mind, he's the best. Who's better?
Tyrod's better than Jones.
Tyrod, yeah. All right.
Yes.
All right. Tyrod. So we'll put Tyrod and Jones in there.
That's what I said. I said, I don't want Jones start. If they signed him to compete with Tyrod, all right. Is Brian Dable going to be the head coach too? I mean, we're bringing back the 9-7-1 quarterback room, but we don't have Saquon Barkley. Maybe they could use Brees the way they used Barkley that year.
Right. Hey, listen, if we're going to do the, pony package and do design runs with a quarterback, Daniel Jones is not a horrible guy to do that with. He's definitely, I don't like Justin Fields. I just think there's something wrong with him. And he hasn't done anything. At least Daniel Jones
he's gotten better each year, though. He was 4-2 this year.
Yeah, but didn't Daniel Jones take the Giants to the playoffs?
He did, and he played great in that one playoff game before they got blown out by Philly.
He's got something, Jake. He's got something that we can hang our hat on.
I'm not hanging any hat. I'm not hanging my hat on anything, Daniel Jones.
I'm not either. But my point is, I'll be entertained watching Daniel Jones.
Won't. No, you won't.
Look. Like I said, all right, I'm in a room full of I'm in a bar with a room full of fat threes that are 80 years old, and I got to choose one. That's where I'm at. That's where we all are, guys. We're all in a room with a bunch of ugly pigs, and we're a single guy, and we just got to find one to take home. And there's nobody there at the bar that looks mildly attractive unless we're all drunk off our asses. And I am going to tell you right now, before every game, I used to do this all the time. I used to numb myself up with a concoction, drink myself into oblivion, and I didn't give a shit about the outcome. I did give a shit, but at the outcome, at least I got a headache, and I was drunk, and I had a nice meal afterwards. That's all we got to look forward to now. And I'm going to watch Aaron Rodgers rock and roll with another team. I don't believe for a set he's going to retire. Get the hell out of here.
I think he's going to play, and he'll probably play well. Get ready.
Oh, yeah. He's going to the playoffs next year. There's no doubt about it. I see it now. Comeback player of the year. Here he is in the playoffs. He's a 3 seed, and he's going to do damage. It's happening. Oh, my God. If that is not the jettiest thing in the world, nothing is. So be ready for that there, Chatteroonskis, because I'll tell you, Philly Noodles and all you guys, every week I'm only going to go on just to say how I'm going to be the BMAC of next year with Aaron Rodgers. and I'm going to put my uniform on. I'm buying a jersey wherever he goes, and I'm going to come on every week. Me and Alan, we're going to come on every week. And I'm going to say, wow, how good did Aaron Rodgers play today? We can have a discussion about that. It's not going to be about the Jets. It's going to be about Aaron Rodgers, and we're going to watch McAfee, and all of us are going to get sick to our goddamn stomachs game after game after game. But that being said, I'm going to sign off for a while. I have a lot of things going on in my life, and I'll check in from time to time. I always like to listen to the show for the entertainment value that you provide, Jake, which is second to none.
Thank you.
It is tremendous. I mean, it is. I can't. You're a habit in my life, like cigars and other things. I can't get off. I said to myself, okay, now Aaron Rodgers is gone. I don't want to listen to Jake. I can't listen to these shows anymore. I'm going to just get sick to my stuff.
Oh, don't worry. We got the combine coming. I got plenty of good stuff.
No. Hey, listen, I'll be there, Jake. I can't. As much as I want to just shut you off and not go back, I can't do it. I'm going to try for a while, but I just can't. It's just too much. There's too much here. I formed some good bonds. Bonesy, Rob, Peter Castro, really good people, yourself, and I'm missing a couple of guys that really, Rick, Southern Jet, tremendous guy. And, I've picked up a lot of people from this show that have really shown, again, I like football takes. I like Jet takes. And I know, in my heart of heart, who knows what the hell they're talking about. And I know in my heart of heart, as you do, some of the people are just absolute boobs. And we got a lot of those.
Well,
but
let's hope we win games, Neil. That's it. That's
listen, I'll be listening to I'll watch every preseason game. I'm going to watch right through. I'm going to watch the combine.
You'll be at the watch parties this year. Yeah.
The watch parties. Oh, I don't know about that. I'll have my jersey. I'm going to have my Aaron Rodgers jersey on wherever he is. I'm going to bring him.
The preseason one will be fun. There's no stress for that one. That was probably my favorite one. There was no stress.
I think we might have the quarterback of our 2025 season already on the roster.
You believe in Travis?
No. Keep going.
Oh, don't
Who
give
had
me
that great preseason?
Don't give me Adrian Martinez.
That's Adrian Martinez might be the guy.
Daniel Jones and Adrian Martinez. I can't take it anymore.
What?
These goddamn exploding cigars. I gotta go, Jake. I'll call back later. Shit.
I can't. I love you, Neil. I can't do it. Also, how about this from D-Rock? The guy goes, I'm a glorified bully. So I say, call into the show. Then he goes, I stay behind the scenes and watch, minding my own business, but only calling out the obvious. What's the point? So you can belittle me and then hang up on me because you don't like what I have to say? I know your antics. D-Rock, call in. The floor is yours to make whatever point you want to make. Your point will probably suck, and then I'll respond. Now, but this was his response. What's my email? asmanjake@gmail.com. Write me a scathing email. I'll read it on the air if it's funny, if it's entertaining. You won't show your face. As Bobby would say, show your face. Please. Call in, D-Rock. But you won't call in because you have no balls. You have no spine. You're a coward. We let everyone on this show. The amount of Rodgers debates I've had in the last 3 days, I think, would prove that. But call in, D-Rock. Please. The floor will be yours. Yesterday, we gave the show over to Rob V. It was the Rob V show before his internet crapped out. The floor is yours. Right now, though, the floor is Stan's from Westport. Hello, Stan. Hold on. My computer just froze. Stan, I'm coming to you, but I have no access. Yeah. Hold on. Check 1, 2. Am I back? All right, we're back. Stan, you're next. Hello, Stan.
Hey, you will let anybody on the show if you'll let me on. That's for sure. That's a proof positive. But listen, he's wrong because I guess he's never seen like the purgatory cast down to the sodomites thing that you hit with people dumped down there. So you invite all all comers, all opinions, all points of view. That's what makes your show great. It truly does. Because
I also think we have more of a wide variety of callers and then
Oh, yeah.
guests that are like literally, I argued with Costello face to face about Rodgers last week in New
Yeah.
Orleans. Like I'll have anyone on.
No question. And this is actually, I think, I made the 11-6 prediction. I had to rescind that officially because without Rodgers, with the quarterback position being in flux, I couldn't do that. But I really believed he would have performed really well next year. I think the decision, though, was Aaron Glenn delegating the authority to Scott Turner in particular, probably Engstrand, letting them go their way. And what I heard was that they were interested in under center QB play as opposed to the shotgun Rodgers needs, right? So because of that, it really wouldn't have fit what their offensive game plan is going to be. That's what I heard. That sounds reasonable from a technical perspective, right? As far as a reason goes, and it's just that simple, maybe. But what have you heard anything like that?
It just feels like we're out with the old and we're gonna do it our way is basically the philosophy, and it's just like, all right, you better be right.
Yeah, but I'm sure they include Woody in too. There's no question.
I think this is probably what Woody preferred. I don't know if that's necessarily why they did it, but it certainly doesn't hurt.
It could be that might lend some credence to the rumors where remember that story was out there that Woody wanted him benched at a certain point.
Yeah.
So maybe that's so. But as far as what to do, okay. First off, I love Joe B. I mean, all the love, and I do, and I really respect him. But Daniel Jones, man, I cannot see him fitting in. For one, Joe mentioned he likes guys that are highly motivated and have something to prove. But Daniel Jones is such a neutral kind of vibe guy. He's very, very low key. I don't think he gets that jazzed and upset. You know what I'm saying? It's just in his nature. So I think he's got, he's functional. That's how I'd put Daniel Jones. And, I've been following the Giants a long time, as you know. I mean, he's functional, but when he goes bad, his biggest problem, Jake, it's simple. It's kind of like Pete Alonso, right? Pete Alonso has this flaw in the batter's box. He takes too many easy flat strikes early in the count, and then it forces him to wave at those down in the dirt sliders. Like everybody knows it, and they keep doing the same thing to him, and he keeps doing the same thing. He doesn't adjust. Daniel Jones' problem is similar. He can't check down. He just can't. He can't go through the progression like a normal NFL quarterback does. And that's a huge flaw. And
did it get better being coached by O'Connell the same way we saw Darnold have similar issues processing and not turning it over too much? And then all of a sudden, until the last 2 weeks, he was a different dude. That's the thought process. Like Baker learned from McVay for 3 weeks at the end of that, whatever season that was a few years ago. And then he was a different guy with the Bucs.
You're right.
You never know.
That's true. It might have some effect. I don't know. But I'll tell you this, draft-wise, I agree with the previous caller. Will Howard is a guy to look at because he was, if you look at the Final Four, as it were, on the BCS, he was far and away the best performing quarterback. Not only that they won, but just like in the position, he did by far better than any of the other three guys in the Final Four. And like you said, he's got the size. He's been around a long time. He's played, the gentleman brought up the comparison with Sanchez. But if you look at Mark Sanchez's college career, I just think Will Howard played, a lot tougher competition than Mark Sanchez did out there.
Sanchez didn't start a lot of games either, too. That was the big thing. Like Pete Carroll wanted him to come back for his senior season.
Yeah, that's a great point. As far as where Aaron ends up, I think the Pete Carroll Las Vegas thing is a cool project for Aaron. And I think the town Las Vegas and the whole vibe and the new stadium and Pete Carroll, I think that's really attractive to Aaron Rodgers, especially to show the Jets, hey, yeah, we were 5-12 for whatever reasons. But if he turns that around into like even a sort of contender in a year, that's a pretty big in-your-face deal for him. So we'll see.
Well, I'll tell you what, Stan, good call. If Rodgers somehow on the Jets schedule, you can guarantee that's a primetime game. Probably early in the year just to guarantee he'd be healthy for it. Guarantee if Rodgers signs with a team that's on the Jets schedule, which do they play Pittsburgh this year? Jets 2025 opponents. I think they do, don't they? Might be. They do play Pittsburgh. They play Pittsburgh at home. That's a primetime game. Rodgers and the Steelers at the Jets. You could put that on Sunday night or Monday night. Lock it in. And the Jets will lose that game too, so get ready. And everyone will make the jokes. They could have had this. And it's coming. Just get ready. All you people who didn't want Rodgers, get ready for that. Because that's what's exactly going to happen here. Tell me I'm wrong. And I don't want to hear I'm so negative. I'm not. I'm probably about as positive as anyone the last several years talking about this team. I'm done though, man. I'm done losing. All right. I didn't want a first-year coach, a first-year GM. They did that. Prove me wrong. I'm rooting for them. I'm a Jet fan. Go out there and win games, and I will be all in. I like the Spielman hire. I like the Steve Wilkes hire. I'll give credit where it's due, but I'm not gonna fake it. I'm done, man. Win football games. You haven't won more than 7 in a decade. I'm not even asking for the Super Bowl or the playoffs. Have a winning season. That's what we're talking about, man. It's just so frustrating.
The only thing better than all them shoes is Joey D, cause he totally rules. Jake, my brother, I'm high as a kite. I love everybody. Damn, this show is crazy.
How we doing?
Jake, my brother. I don't know if you saw, my wife just went to pick up my daughter, but she thought I was live, she wasn't paying attention, and she came in the camera and was waving to you, thinking she was saying hello, and I'm like, I'm not on.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't see it.
But she was ready to actually give a take. I was trying to trigger you to get the Mrs. Bonesy take, but I can't believe we're literally talking about Daniel Jones and Justin Fields. It's like, do we really want to run Garrett Wilson right out of town? It's looking pretty bleak right now with him being happy. His biggest thing has been about winning, and we already showed him we're not looking to win games this year with the Rodgers move. And now if you bring, even when we're talking about Justin Fields has never thrown for 2,500 yards. He got benched when he was winning games by Russell Wilson. He was winning games if Justin Fields was the Jets quarterback, we'd be 1-1 through 2 weeks, right? We want to win a game 13-10, and Justin Fields will have no throwing touchdowns, and we'd be booing him. We have no patience as it is with quarterbacks. Justin Fields is not the guy for us, man. He's a running quarterback who can't read defenses and can't make his receivers happy. So I don't know. I don't know where to go. I'm so beat up. I look at the hope that some of these Jet fans have about, we'll draft a quarterback and develop him. Yeah, I know. That's our strong suit, right? We have a really good track record of bringing in – no, you know what we have a good track record of? Bringing in quarterbacks, failing them, and then other teams picking them up and figuring how to be decent. the Genos, the Darnolds. That's what we do. And if you think this isn't – if Aaron Rodgers – I think most people will agree on this, except for the people who are only worried about being right and can't be listen, I would love to be wrong in this situation. I am praying that I am completely whiffing on this and that, Glenn's our new Bill Parcells, and he's going to turn this ship around, and we're going to draft the right quarterback and develop him correctly. And, things are going to, I love that optimism, but that's not us. And the fact that if Aaron Rodgers goes to a different team, Jake, right? What are the chances that he plays well and they make the playoffs?
I mean, I would bet on it because it'd be very Jet-like.
I mean, it's going to happen. It is. If Aaron Rodgers retires, I will feel much better about the situation. If Aaron Rodgers goes to a different team and brings Devontae with him and they run it back and I have to watch them succeed, it's just going to be everyone keeps telling me in chat, but we're the Jets. We can't do that. If he goes to San Fran and wins, that's because he can't win here. It's like, so look in the mirror. He can't win here, but he can go win somewhere else. That's just saying how bad of an organization we are. It's like, if the coaches are right that we just brought in, the regime's going to get back on track. Why wouldn't you want a veteran quarterback who can give you a chance to win? Like, I just, the optimism of the young quarterback stuff kills me. This guy, Aaron Rodgers, had a shit year on our team, and he still nearly broke our all-time franchise yards and touchdowns record because we're that pitiful. We are that pitiful of a franchise. And look, people are saying, "Oh, Bonesy, stop crying in the chat." You know what? I'm desperate. I'm a desperate Jet fan. You ever been with a girl and you kind of know she's desperate, so you hit it a couple times and you're not going to be with her, but it's like, you got her. You got her wrapped and you're abusing it. It's like, that's what I am. I'm that girl. I'm an abused Jet fan. You give me Aaron Rodgers. We haven't seen someone throw for 28 touchdowns and almost 4,000 yards in how long? And we're just like so easy to turn the page and blame him. Oh, he's washed up. He's trash. He's 41-year-old worst quarter. Like, dude, he is going to go. I will bet anyone in this chat, you name the amount, that if he goes to a different team, that they make the playoffs and he throws for more than 30 touchdowns and looks like Aaron Rodgers. And they have a running game. And they don't give away 6 wins between defense and kicking missing. And if you can actually tell me you're a Jets fan and you watched every game this year, and you can't tell me that coaching wasn't our biggest problem, then I guess it's me. Then it's me. I'm normally optimistic, Bonesy, but this is my last straw. Now I just look at Garrett like, I love Garrett. He's a young talent we haven't had in how long, Jake? And all he wants to do is win, and we're already, everyone's like, yeah, let's rebuild, thank God we got rid of Rodgers, the 49,000 off the salary cap, because that 13,000 extra would have crippled us for the future. Jake, I'm done, bro. I'm melting.
Someone wrote that you're typically more positive from the shoe store.
I am. I haven't been calling in because I can't even think anymore. I've been waiting for the Rodgers news just to
I want to interview your wife, Mrs. Bonesy. I feel like that'd be a fascinating conversation.
I think it would. I think if for you guys to hear the behind the scenes of what goes on, it would be a great interview. Jake, I don't know, my man. I'm broken now. This was the final straw for me in terms of just.
I get it, man. I didn't want him to. I wasn't always that way, but the way he finished and the alternative options, it's like, I was with you. Bring him back for a year because I don't think they're going to do better. So if they're going to have a better year, they're going to need to have a way better defense, get the running game going again, or maybe they catch lightning in the bottle with someone like Fitz in 2015. Highly unlikely, but that's what you're hoping for if you're a Jet fan. That's it.
Agreed. And just I just want to put out like we pushed the Hall of Famer out the door. We're the only place that could fail Hall of Fame quarterback play. I mean, Peyton goes to Denver. Even the defense carried him to that last Super Bowl ring, he still played broke every statistical category playing with Denver a couple of years. Brady goes to the Bucs. Who knows what happens? Back in the day, Montana to the Chiefs. Even something like Phillip Rivers goes to the Colts.
Games. I brought that up. That's my example for what Rodgers could be on this team. He won 11 games his last year at age 39.
Brett Favre comes to us. What does he do with Minnesota the next year? It's us. It's time to look in the mirror, fellas. It's us. Aaron Rodgers is going to go to another team, and we're all talking about he's washed, and he's just going to show us that it was us. Because we started off the year trying to get the run game to go. We tried doing the offense without Rodgers running it, and we consistent with the run, and we couldn't do it. Rodgers' numbers are inflated because he was throwing it so much, but I can't go back to shit quarterback play again. I can't do another rebuild season. I'm sick of fucking rebuilding, man. I'm sick of it.
Bonesy, there's someone on the line that wants to say hello. He is arguably the second greatest shoe salesman in the history of Alden.
I think that guy.
I know, right?
The second best? What do you mean the second best?
There was controversy.
I proved that I was the best.
He
Jake.
returned. The
What
guy
are we
returned the shoes the next day.
Well, I still won. What are you talking about, Bonesy?
We need a rematch. We do gotta get a rematch this
Bonesy,
offseason.
who is the number one shoe salesman at Alden Shoes?
Oh, it's definitely Neil. You know, he put me in my place.
Hey,
he showed
listen,
me how to
Bonesy,
do
you look
it.
like you lost a few pounds. What are you doing? Taking Ozempic or something? Or you just you can't eat anymore? You're so sick.
I'm just as fat as I was, man. I'm just.
No, your
it's the
face
camera.
looks much thinner. Your face looks much thinner.
It's just the camera. I haven't done nothing. I've gained weight, if anything, with all this stress and fucking BS we've been dealing with. Neil, man, I you know, one thing you keep talking about Daniel Jones. I
don't say. Whoa, back up. Hang on. I don't want to get the moniker of the Daniel Jones truther all of a sudden. Okay. I just was listening to Benigno, and Joe B puts it, tells it like it is, and he mentioned him, and I said to myself, there's nobody really. Adrian Gonzalez excites me over most of these guys, but here's the point.
You don't even got the right name. His name is Adrian Martinez. Gonzalez was a first baseman for the Dodgers, the Padres, the Mets.
That's why I mentioned this. Hey, listen. All right, I did a little Peter Castro there.
Yeah.
Old brick. Anyhow, you'll brick. Joe Benigno was saying Mungie. Joe B gave a little funny name. He calls the new GM Munchie or something. He isn't having.
Hey, hold on one second. This guy D-Rock just tweeted me a video of him being like, "This is sickening how you get treated." D-Rock, you have time to screen share my show and tweet me, yet you won't call in. I mean, what a loser
D-Rock,
you are.
just
D-Rock.
call in, man. No one's gonna bite.
Dude, this guy is such a loser, man. We let everyone on this show with any opinion, as long as it's appropriate, obviously, for YouTube. And this guy, D-Rock, has the audacity to tweet me a screenshot of me basically saying, you're scared of calling in. Like, come on, man. Stop being a pussycat without the cat and just call in.
Well, Bones, we had so much fun. Jake, how fun was that sell-off?
It was a great day. It was a great day.
God.
We need a rematch.
We had so much fun, man. We had so much fun. The Vegas.
Neil, you know what it was, though? We still all had hope as Jets fans. We were having fun.
Something. We really didn't.
Hope.
When you think about it, right? We went to all these games, because we thought Aaron Rodgers was going to be the quarterback. So we all kind of already paid for everything. So we all went on these trips, right, Jake? And we still had a lot of fun. I mean, the reality is with Zach Wilson, I'll tell you one thing I'm hopeful for. Okay. We're never going to suck as bad at the quarterback position than we did with Zach Wilson. I know the bar is so low.
Hey, be careful. They said there's no way Tim Boyle could be worse. He was. So I've learned my lesson.
Yeah, I know, but Jay, come on now.
I'm just saying. Tyrod, regardless how you feel about Tyrod, he is infinitely better than Zach. The Jets would have won 10 or 11 games with Tyrod Taylor 2 years ago.
Right. Zach. Well, what we got to be ready for is this. Right now, we have to switch gears and do with the Eagles and get the offensive and defensive lines to be phenomenal. And we have to ride Breece Hall and Braylon Allen and all these guys. We have to be the ground and pound Jets, and we have to ball control and hope we win games, 15-13. We're going to be back to that, guys. And we have to, and I believe that if we beef up the line and we have a decent O-line coach, and we have to be able to scheme the running game. Our running game was shit last year. And, that's why Aaron Rodgers had to throw the ball. I mean, whenever you hand the ball off and 3 guys are hitting Brees Hall in the backfield. I mean, how do you expect to win games that way? You're just not going to win games in this league if you can't run the ball and make the defense honest. And, it's a miracle that he threw as many touchdown passes as he did with our shitty running game.
Rex P.
Hey, Bones, did we have a crappy running game, yes or no?
Of course we did. Well, I'm on now. I have someone who wants to say hello.
Oh, okay. We got a little guy. There you
go.
Lola.
Come on, Lola. What are you doing? All right. She don't want to say hello.
Aw.
Hi, Lola.
I'll clean it.
Lola?
Lola, can you just give me a Jets chant? Say, just give me a Jet. No, give me a real one. All right.
There we go. Love
it's a
it.
3-year-old giving it to you.
I've changed my prediction. Instead of 4 wins, we're now winning 5 once again.
Yeah.
What?
I have no hope. What can the Jets do that are going to get me on the bandwagon without us seeing them do something? It's not going to be a signing or a draft pick because draft picks aren't going to get on the field. It's going to be a while before I believe. Like they need to.
If they traded up for a quarterback, we at least would be excited about the possibility.
Yeah, but I'm just so. I don't want to be desperate though, Jake.
I agree. It's only if they like someone. That's it.
Yeah.
They have to free agent a lot of guys on the on the lines. Look, Aaron Glenn is really the defensive guy. Our defense is going to be back to top 5 this year. That I could probably say is a pretty good guess. That we're a couple pieces away on the defense and his scheme and the way he did it.
But Neil, we don't have a quarterback again.
I get it.
The same thing. We have a good D line. Now we have 4 out of 5 offensive linemen locked. We have Brees Hall, who's what? We have Garrett, who now's the only guy because Devontae's gone. But again, we're going back to what we've gone for the last how many years? We don't have a quarterback. We're not going to draft one and groom him. I mean, that's just, false hope. We could. No,
I don't want to go.
Happen, but
listen, I don't want to go look. We got to take a rookie in this draft. Next draft, and we got to take a flyer with him and hope we hit, pay dirt somewhere. But we're not going to get anybody in this draft class. There's nobody that anybody even said is as good as the Denver quarterback in this draft class. Nobody's as good, Jake. Is that right or wrong? I don't follow the draft, so I don't really know.
That's what they say, but you never know in any
draft. This guy Dart, I saw a little of him. He looked pretty damn good to me, but again,
he's got to sit. He's taken like 10 career snaps under center. He's not an NFL quarterback yet. He
has that little experience.
Yeah, well, he plays in an offense where it's a spread system, and like in Lane Kiffin schemes guys open. Like they're not going to be doesn't make a ton of tight window throws. He hasn't had to because of the offense he's in. So like he needs to develop. So,
like I said, everybody in the college level, let's just forget about it. Let's hope we take, Justin Fields and turn him. He has a resurgence like Sam Darnold did. Let's hope we get Danny Dimes, and hopefully we could scheme with him and make him a running quarterback. And he's not a horrible thrower. And at least our offensive line, if you protect Danny Dimes. Okay, let's just be real. If he could sit back there and survey the field, I don't think he could be horrible, Jake. I don't think.
Great calls there from Bonesy, Lola, Neil. We're gonna get right back to the calls in a second. Let me get caught up on a few super chats here. Mock writes in, Rodgers was constantly moping, rolling his eyes, and sat next to Tyrod all year, never added any spark as a leader, and the rest followed. That's just not true. Did you hear what CJ Mosley said yesterday about Aaron Rodgers? How no matter what, his leadership never stopped. You people want to create this narrative based on body language, and you don't know the whole truth. That's not what his teammates have said. Have you listened to what Brees Hall has said? Or last week at Radio Row, what Jermaine Johnson and Quincy Williams said? What Devontae has said about him? Ricky NY, Jones is good of a runner as Fields equals. That is not a cigar. Neil put down the joint. Emmanuel writes in with a super chat. Read a report that Woody wants to move up in the draft. It's not a real report. NFL Rookie Watch makes things up for aggregation and and clicks. It's classic made up nonsense. There's no proof to that tweet that through all the Jets are looking to Woody wants to move up. It's not based on anything. Andy says, Jake, you predicted 12-5 last year. We went 5-12. Maybe this year you predict 5-12. We go 12-5. Sign me up for that. Right now I'm at 4-13, Indy, so I hope it's 13-4. That'd be great. A little reverse jinx for you. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get right back to your calls, but we have some major housekeeping that needs to be done. Alan writes in, can't wait for the Garrett to Carolina chatter. There's nothing you want more, Alan, than for this team to suck, which is why you're thrilled they got rid of Rodgers. You're thrilled they hired a first-time head coach and a first-time GM. You want this team to be awful. You want Garrett traded. You've made comments like this for months. And yet again, everyone, another example of Alan being the biggest fraud that watches this very show. Goodbye, Alan. You're a bum.
Now look what you've done, Alan. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the Sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give them another 24 hours to think about it.
There's no one that wants this team to be bad quite like Alan. Blair says, as Joe Namath spoke on Rodgers' departure, he, to my knowledge, is not, but he was very public in bringing Aaron back. He thinks Aaron could still play. He said that on Twitter, and then the Michael K show, or not the Michael K show, the new afternoon show on our station. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg, they had Joe Willie on, and he said the same thing. So Joe wanted them back. And I agree with Joe. So I think he still could play. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Appreciate everyone out there. We still have over 670 of you in here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. It is free. If you haven't done so, subscribe. Hit that button right over here. Do it. Help us. Brando writes in, maybe D-Rock is right. Let someone on and debate these points with facts. We have had so many people call in and argue with me the last few days. If this is a serious comment, go rewind and watch previous shows. I don't know what to tell you. Ladies and gentlemen, we get into more of your calls right now. It is time to say hello to a man who needs no introduction. But Gator keeps cranking out new ones each and every day.
You know what time it is? A beast breaker, 666.
Incredible.
Shove it up your ass, and then he
all right. Where do we go from here?
Here you go, D-Rock. I got you. Come on, boy. Come on, boy. Come on, son. Come on, son. Come on, boy. I got something for you. Come here. That's a warning to you, D-Rock. Come and get you. You want some of this? You want to piss Jake off? Come in the ring with me. I got something for you. Round 2. Let's go. Come on, boy. Come on, boy. Come on, son. Put your hands up. Put them up, boy. Get up, boy. You pussy. Get up. Head down. Come here, son. You're out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. Don't. D-Rock, you don't want none of me, boy. I'll give it to you right up your ass. Next time you want to get in a war with me, I got something waiting for you even better. You know who this is? My best friend right here. You know who that is? Uncle Paulie. You know what that means? See you later, alligator. Fly like the eagle, baby. Fly like the eagle.
Beast breaker.
Just fly.
Beast breaker. 666 $50. Will send his ass to the hole where there's no gabagool.
Now that was top tier Beast breaker. Ladies and gentlemen, let's check in now with our combat expert. Evaluate Beast Breaker's combos there and more on what we just witnessed.
Knockouts don't matter if you land enough jabs. I mean, you can do music.
I gotta be honest, for a guy that's 700 pounds and can barely get out of bed, his swing is not that bad. Like, his swing looks like he knows what how to swing a bat. It's not terrible. I was expecting it to look like his punches. His swing is not bad.
Honestly,
I was impressed though. Yeah.
If the Mets didn't re-sign Alonso, you might need him to hit cleanup for you this year.
He could DH. I don't know that he could play the field, but he could DH. We got those rules now, which make pitchers hit again. And he fights out of both the southpaw and conventional stances. Very, very impressive, Beast. Very impressive. People train a lifetime trying to do that. Very impressive, Beast.
I was blown away by that. I thought that was an incredible display of athleticism.
I just thought he was a southpaw. I just thought he was left-handed, and then he switched around and fought out of the conventional stance. I thought that was impressive. Good job, Beast. Are you not? Well, he's naturally right-handed because he swings right-handed, right? I think.
I'm not sure. He might be a switch hitter.
Yeah. Does he bat both too? Or does he just fight both?
I'm gonna have to ask him next time he's on.
Either way. You know what's not impressive? Danny Dimes. We can't be doing this. I understand that this is the list of quarterbacks we're going to be choosing from, but don't bring Danny Dimes here. We're going to be the laughing stock. I don't live in New York, so I don't have to listen to it every day, but you guys are. He's not going to get good. He's not going to have a Sam Darnold kind of rebirth. Danny Dimes is Danny Dimes. He's not good. We can't. This is what I mean. When everyone's like, "Oh, we had to get rid of Rodgers and bring in who? Danny Dimes, Kirk Cousins." These aren't answers, guys. This makes things worse. And you still have to pay Rodgers. You still have the cap hit. So it's not like you're just getting away from Rodgers altogether. I'm with you. This Danny Dimes or drafting someone in the second round and starting him day one is not the answer. Like I don't know why we're just wasting a year of Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall and all of these guys. Like, they don't play forever. You get a very short window, and we're just throwing a year of their prime away.
Yeah. I mean, unless they surprise and they fix the defense, quarterback. Like, if the defense is as dominant as it was a few years ago and they get an automatic kicker and Tyrod is competent, you're competitive, I guess. But that's the plan.
Tyrod's going to be competent for a month.
Till he gets hurt. That's why you need, then you need someone behind him. Absolutely.
And that's Danny Dimes. Like, that's what we're doing. Wouldn't it? That would be funny though if we signed Dimes and Tyrod started over Dimes. That be ironic. Because if you got both of them,
it'd be the
you
same
would start
quarterback.
Danny Dimes, right? I mean, you start Tyrod, right? Tyrod's better than Dimes.
If that's what they end up doing, I don't even know. I don't even know how to react if that's the plan. It's like we're just Thomas Morsteading the 2025 season.
Yeah. I don't understand. Like, I understand people think Rodgers is shot and his best days are behind him, which they are. But no one has given me a better name to start that gives us a better chance to win. So what are we celebrating?
But Gary, the culture. The culture is going to be so great. That's why you had to get rid of the guy. You had to get rid of him. The culture. Come on.
I know. We need to build the culture. I know.
Yes. You have to build the culture because the Jets have such a great culture that, that a track record to fall back on and being able to build it. So, sure.
Yeah, it's like the Steelers. We always win. Doesn't matter who we bring in. We'll be fine. We'll win.
How about the Lane Train at quarterback? How about that?
It's better than Danny Dimes. I'll go with that. If it's between Lane Train and Danny Dimes, I know what I got with Dimes. I'll just roll the dice with Lane Train.
Lane Train would be interesting. How about Beast Breaker, man?
I need it for the Mets. I need that swing for the Mets. I can't have him play. I can't have my DH getting hurt playing football. I can't have that.
I like it.
I was actually impressed with his swing. He actually knows how to swing a bat. It's not terrible. It shocked me.
The big Goomba is what they called Beast Breaker back in his playing days.
I can see why.
By the way, how's your ankle? Have you recovered yet?
You want me to break out the moonwalk?
You got it
really
in you?
Going to read here. I mean, it's not really going to read here. It's not. I can't really do it here. You can't see my feet.
Call us from a spot where you have more room. You know, put your phone up against something in like your kitchen.
I gotta think of where I can do it. I mean, I can do it. My ankle. It's still swollen, but it doesn't really hurt anymore. It's still like twice the size of the other one.
How about like your kitchen counter?
We can really
or something?
I'm not gonna moonwalk on my kitchen counter.
No, you put your phone up against something on the kitchen counter.
Oh, I don't moonwalk on the kitchen counter. My wife wouldn't go for that. All right. Let me. I'll go back. We'll do it soon. I'll figure out where I can do it where you can see my feet. This isn't gonna work. You can't.
We got to see the Gary feet here.
Yeah. It is an extremely easy thing to do. If you take a YouTube tutorial, you could do it in a day. It is extremely simple thing to do.
I like it. Do you still think the moon landing's fake?
Of course I think the moon landing is fake, Jake. Do you still think it's real?
Yeah, I still think it's real.
On the basis of what? Like, what evidence did you see that say, yeah, I believe people walked on the moon?
I look, Dave Briga told me it's real, and I back
because
Dave
you
Briga.
want it to be real. Okay.
No, Dave Briga was there when it happened. He lived it. All right. And if I don't agree, I don't want to get punched in the face like you're going to be by Dave.
I get it. People are very defensive of the moon landing because it was this great thing that America achieved, except it probably didn't happen. Look, I don't think Russians orbited the moon. I don't think.
So do you think we've never been to the moon? And we've never been.
I don't think anyone's been to the moon. I don't think anyone has been to the moon. I don't really think anyone's orbited the moon. I don't think the Chinese put cameras on the moon. I think that's all fake.
Interesting.
I'm not alone in this. This is not like a really like rare position. Like this studies 40% of the people have serious questions, at least serious questions about the authenticity of the moon landing.
Nick Shine writes in, Gary doesn't have a kitchen. It's called the butter storage facility.
The butter storage is actually in the garage. We have like a small fridge in the garage that's just stacked with butter. He's not wrong, but his location is off. I have a butter storage facility.
Nate writes in, Aaron Rodgers is going to the moon instead of minicamp this year, Gary.
Then he'll be the first person on the moon. If that's why the Jets didn't bring him back, because Aaron Rodgers is going to be the first person to walk on the moon, good for him. I understand.
Kevin writes in, from what asylum do you recruit these callers?
I'm not alone. You can call me crazy. The evidence that he walked on the moon is really flimsy at best. Like if I went to court and I was in the jury box and they charged Buzz and Armstrong with walking on the moon, no, they're both not guilty. They didn't walk on the moon. They're free to go.
Mike writes in, Gary, I think you've been to the moon.
I haven't. Just like everyone else who's ever lived, I've never been to the moon. No going to the moon. It's too far away.
Dave says, Gary, very uninformed. If you want to have an intelligent conversation, get some info.
What have I gotten wrong, Dave? What have I factually gotten wrong? It's I can't prove he didn't go to the moon. You're just asking me to look at the evidence and come to a conclusion, right? He didn't go to the moon.
Steve Asman writes in, Gary, turn to the side. I want to see if you have cauliflower ears over the tinfoil.
It's I got it only on one ear. It's weird. Like one.
You dyeing your hair? Your hair looks darker.
This ear is all screwed up. This one's fine though. I don't know. I got cauliflower ear on one ear.
Are you dyeing your hair?
No, I'm not dyeing my hair. Why? It looks good.
It looks darker.
No, I haven't dyed my hair at all. Thank you, Jake. I'm gonna take that as a compliment. Yeah, I only got cauliflower ear on my right ear, which is weird because you get hit in your left ear more. I can't explain that.
JD says you don't believe in the moonwalk, yet you're from Mars.
Men are from Mars, right? Is that the saying? Men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
Nate writes in, Gary, do you believe in the flag shell conspiracy on the moon?
Well, yeah, I think the thing that they place in the moon is not the moon. So yeah, I think it's a conspiracy. I don't even like the word conspiracy, right? It's not real. It's like they were talking about like, the Adelson family wanting to move the Mavs to Vegas as a conspiracy. It's not a conspiracy. It's out in the open. Like it's not a conspiracy. This is not a conspiracy.
Let's see. Cisco says, can we get another appearance of Gary's nanny?
We're getting it back for spring break. I think that's about 2-3 weeks away.
Okay.
So hopefully. And then she'll be back we'll have her all summer. May, June, July, like that. August, whenever she goes back to school.
Jay says, Gary is over the moon about Brock Bowers.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
Ralphie writes in, you could see actual debris on the moon, dummy. It's just a debate about landing on the moon or not. Orbiting happened. There's an Earthrise pic from Apollo 8.
How do you know it? How do you know any of that? Because they told you? They told you that's the moon, so therefore it's true? Like, you know what I saw? I saw King Kong on TV ripping up buildings. Was that real?
Curly wants to know what happens first. The Jets make the playoffs or the next moon landing?
I don't feel confident in this pick, but I'm going to be optimistic and say the Jets make the playoffs.
Okay. Cisco wants me to book your natty on the show again.
We can. She's a good sport. She'll come on again.
Yep. I have a lot of questions for her. I want to get into the moon landing with her.
Okay. I don't know where she stands on the moon landing. I have no idea. I've never talked to her about the moon landing. We have talked about nutrition, and she's protein-based too.
She eats a lot of butter?
I don't know if she eats a lot of butter. She eats a lot of protein. But butter is not loaded with protein. It's got protein in it, but it's loaded with fat, which is why you want it if you're eating chicken and turkey predominantly, like Bobby was, because it's not any fat really in chicken and turkey. They're very, very lean meats, and you need to have more fat.
Tom Ace wants your take on King Kong. He says it happened. It devastated the city back in the 1930s.
I wasn't alive. And my grandfather on my father's side said it didn't actually happen. He was alive then and lived in New York City.
Dave Brigger says, this guy is silly. Why do we waste our time? Does Gary know the power of Saturn V engines?
So you believe that NASA put people on the moon because NASA told you they built the technology to put people on the moon. This is all circular. This is all regressive. Like, why do you believe NASA went to the moon? Because NASA said so. Like, this is all just. I'm not. Look, I could be wrong. I highly doubt it. It's possible that people walked on the moon. It's just the evidence suggests no one walked on the moon. There's really not any good evidence to suggest, in my opinion. Maybe you look at someone calling from the moon before cell phones were invented and calling the president in Washington, D.C. and say, oh, yeah, look, see, he called the president from the moon.
By the way, that last comment for Dave, I think he means Saturn V engine.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Yeah. Thunder Lips agrees with you. Moon landing was staged in a Hollywood set because we didn't want Russia to be first.
Yep. There you go, Thunder Lips. And that's the ultimate male.
Nate wants to know if you believe in Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster.
What do you mean? Do I believe in Bigfoot or Loch Ness? I've never seen Bigfoot, and I don't really know. Like the Loch Ness Monster, what is that? Like the Rougarou? What is that? Like just like a mythical beast that lives somewhere? I don't really know what the Loch Ness Monster is.
So it's a Loch Ness Monster.
Like the Rougarou?
I'm not familiar.
You were in New Orleans for a week, and you don't know what the Rougarou is?
Yeah, I don't.
Go Google the Rougarou. It's a mythical beast that lives in New Orleans. It's not real. Is that what like that? Is that what I don't really know anything about the Loch Ness Monster. I don't know anything about the Loch Ness Monster. You've never heard of the Rougarou?
25 wants to get your take on how you think the pyramids were built.
I don't know, man. This blows my mind. I don't have any good answers for this. The pyramids blow my mind. I'm open to all suggestions on how the pyramids were built. I have nothing good.
Dave Briggs says the USSR could not attempt an effective moonshot because they couldn't produce a rocket to get there.
Yeah, neither could the U.S. That's why we don't go to the moon, because there's no way to get there.
Steve Asman writes in, cell phones were used by Lyndon Johnson.
From the moon?
I don't have that information prepped. Clancy wants to know, is Zuckerberg a lizard person?
I don't believe so. I'm not a supporter of the lizard people.
Rich says hit the like. I agree. Definitely hit the like button. Birkin wants to know, do you believe in the Illuminati?
I've never really done any research into the Illuminati. I can't answer that either way. I don't really know. I know what it is. I've never done any research into it.
Nick Shine says pyramids being built are obvious. Beastbreaker threw the rocks up.
Maybe I'll buy that. That theory is as good as any that I've heard. I'm really like, the pyramids blow my mind. I'm really into it. I'm trying, like, that's something like I spent time looking into. I don't have any good answers for that. Like, the pyramids are crazy.
Purple Belt Mike wants to know, do you believe this is an alternate universe?
No.
Bill M wants to know, do dream catchers really block nightmares?
I don't even know what that means, but probably not.
Nick says we definitely went to the moon.
Okay. What evidence do you have to support that we definitely went to the moon? Like, give me the evidence. That's a heck of a claim, right? Like, that's saying I caught a fish like so big. What? Okay, like, prove it. Like, what evidence do you have of that?
Dave says knowledge and technology deniers show who they are.
I don't. So in 1969, we had the technology to get to the moon, but in 2025, we don't. That's interesting.
I think we do. Isn't it just expensive?
We had the money to do it in 1969, but we don't have the money to do it in 2025.
Inflation.
I mean, inflation. So we didn't have the money to do it during the tech boom in the early 2000s. We never had the money to do it. Only in 1969 and 1970 and 1971. Only then did we have the money to do it.
Nate wants to know who killed JFK.
I'm not getting into that.
You're based in Dallas. You got to have some thoughts.
I have some thoughts on. I'm not getting into them on this show. I'm not getting into JFK. I'm not going to get into 9/11. Like, it's a football show.
Would you say the Luka trade was the most controversial thing to happen in Dallas since JFK?
I would say that, yeah. I would say it was. I would say that it's the thing that needs the most explaining in the last 50 years.
Bill M wants to know who the Zodiac Killer is.
Can't help you out on that one either.
GTA says Gary doesn't believe satellites are real or possible.
So I believe that satellites are real. Yes, I believe satellites are real. My cell phone works through a satellite. I don't understand what it has to do with walking on the moon.
Any thoughts on DB Cooper?
My Decker's really into DB Cooper. Like, Decker has like a ton. I kind of know who he is, but Decker got really into DB Cooper and read a bunch of books on DB Cooper.
I kind of information on that recently, right? Then they find the guy they thought who DB Cooper was.
DB Cooper, and he died. Yeah, I originally thought that DB Cooper was just fake. Like, someone said DB Cooper did it and they stole everything, but I don't know. I don't really. There's a question, Decker. Decker can school you on DB Cooper like a professor.
Dave Briggs says, Gary, go do some homework. We don't have time to fully discuss this here. Well, Dave, I actually would disagree. That we have plenty of time to discuss this here. Have you? What else am I doing? I do two 2-hour shows a day on a football team that hasn't won more than 7 games in a decade. I got all the time in the world to talk moon landing.
What's their record since you started doing the show, Jake?
I would say January 21 I started it. So we've had a 4-13 season, 7-10, 7-10, 5-12, whatever that is.
So that's 4-13, 7-10, 7-10, 5-12, 14, 18, 23. Oh, this is going to be bad, Jake. And 45, 23 and 45.
Yeah, that sounds right. And no one can blame me for them. No, you can't, because guess what?
They were worse than that the 4 years before.
Because guess what? This team hasn't been good since 2010. So no one can be blamed that does content on YouTube. None of us have been able to do a season where the Jets have been good.
So that's 21, 22. So you started in 2021 season?
Yeah. After they hired Sal, I started going live every day. Before that, it was all pre-taped stuff.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, those 4 years are better than the 4 years before that. So actually, we can thank you for the success. 7-10 is a banner. 7-10 is a banner year for this team.
Trust me, I can smell the 4-win season coming down, man. A lot of you are in denial right now. I smell 4-13. Oh, it smells terrible.
I mean, if the plan is just to go with 36-year-old broken down Tyrod Taylor and Danny Dimes, it could be 4-13. Could be 6-11, but it could be 4-13. Like, it's not going to be really better than 6-11.
Sir Pete says, Gary, why do weird white people believe most conspiracies?
I don't think there's a racial component to it. Is there? I mean, do you have any evidence to suggest there's a racial component to it? Weird people because we're weird. I don't know if it's disproportionate. We certainly are weird. I'm a weird person. I understand. And yes, I think Tupac may be alive. I'm leaning towards yes, Tupac is alive. That whole thing seemed fake to me. Someone asked that in the chat.
Burkinator, will Beastbreaker find true love?
He said he had a daughter, which is shocking to me. That means he got some lady to go back to his mom's attic, which is shocking to me. So I don't know. Maybe. Who knows?
Stack is reminding all 623 of you to hit the like button, because some of you haven't.
That's not a good proportion. 623, only 326 likes. We could do better.
Nate says he smells a 5 and 4 star, and I hope so, Nate. That'd be nice.
Okay. I mean, a 5 and 4 start and then a 6-11 finish. Like,
yeah.
I hope so, but like
they can win games. Well, they can win. If Tyrod's healthy, they're capable of winning games. I have no faith he's making it through the season. That's the problem.
Oh, okay. Over under 6.5. Tyrod Taylor game started 6.5. You taking the over the under?
I'll take the over, but not by much more. You said it at 7.5. That's where I'm like, I don't know.
Okay, 8.5. Half the season, 8.5 starts. Over under Tyrod Taylor. Take the under, right?
8.5. I'm taking the under.
That's what I'm saying. Like, okay, even if we go 5-3 with them, now we're playing Danny Dimes the rest of the season, or Justin Fields. It's like,
or a rookie they draft. Yeah, I mean that's
not gonna work. Yeah, or rookie. You know what my biggest fear is?
Oh my god!
Because I can't get away from him.
4-13 season. I smell it. It's brutal.
They're gonna draft Quinn Ewers in the second round. Watch.
They better not.
With the 42nd pick, the Jets draft Quinn Ewers. Watch. I'm telling you, I can't get away from him, Jake. I'm telling you right now, the Jets are drafting Quinn Ewers in the second round.
Second round? Come on.
Because he's got a lot of arm talent. He can make a lot of throws. He's going to go to his pro day. I can make a tape of Quinn Ewers looking really, really good. He's going to get overdrafted. They always do, especially guys with talent like Quinn. He's just not a good quarterback. He's a low IQ quarterback, and he's never going to be good. And I know the Jets are going to draft him in the second round. I already have that feeling.
What do you think is more likely? We went to the moon or the Jets draft Quinn Ewers?
I think it's way more likely that the Jets draft Quinn Ewers in the second round with the 42nd pick than we went to the moon.
All right.
Quinn Ewers at 42 would be a disgrace. Would you be shocked if Quinn Ewers went in the first half of the second round? Would that shock you? Wouldn't shock me at all. I would draft him in the 7th round. I'm just telling you, he's going to go. He's for sure going in day 2. Where do you think Quinn Ewers?
I think he's a third round guy. Third round guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not miles apart here.
No. All right, Gary. Well, I appreciate the insight as always. Great job.
All right.
Chicken with pasta is worse than peanut butter with sandwich.
Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Thabo, I see you on hold. We also have some other great callers on the line. So I will continue the show, but we got to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back in 2 minutes for everything New York Jets and whatever else. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be right back. Now. Andrew Fialco is on hold, so let's go to Andrew, who's up next. Hello, Andrew.
Hey, Jake. The chat keeps blowing up with these Zach Wilson truthers, so I want to show you some film on this guy to help tell the story. Okay, let's start with this pass to Garrett Wilson. Here's against the Bills. You can see if I stop it here. Zach has a clear shot at Garrett with nobody in his face. Play it forward a bit. Garrett is fighting off the defender here, but single coverage. Stopping here, you see how even a 6-year-old blind albino alligator could have thrown this in a better spot. Thank God, Garrett is a friggin' stud as he makes the catch, allowing Zach to celebrate like he helped the team win a Super Bowl. Here, Garrett tells the ref, "Hey ref, did you see how fucking horrible that throw was and I still caught it? Disgusting." One more film breakdown here as we see Zach returning from the sideline, unable to navigate himself with any success, back to the huddle. Thankfully, his teammates were there to help him up off the ground, but unfortunately for Zach, they chose to not help him. Zach's ass had a large bruise that took a while to heal, although his mom's friend gave him some aloe to rub on the buttocks, and that helped a little. Next week, I'll have a full film breakdown of Cole Thompson's scooter crash from the combine. Thanks for having me, Jake. Gator sucks.
Oh my God. Well, thank you for that film breakdown, Andrew.
Dude.
Great job.
I was waiting. I was like, one day I've seen those before. I'm like, Gators gotta get me one on more of these. Oh, Gator. that was damn good.
The only good thing that happened to me late tonight, early this morning, was making sweet, passionate love to my fiance.
Joining us right now is a man who knows a thing or two about making sweet and passionate love to his fiance. Ladies and gentlemen, Boy Green Esden Jr. Hello, Paul.
Speaking of the sweet, passionate lovemaking, I'm outside a laundromat right now. I think we all know what I'm here for. Had to wash the sheets. If you catch it, that had to happen. Yes, after last night, it was phenomenal. For those who are curious.
Congrats on the sex.
The sex was great. I might get in trouble with any more details, but that is true.
Well, I'm happy for you.
My tuchus, my cheeks are pressed firmly against this brick wall, and I can't say if my fiance didn't have the same thing happening to her last night. Yeah.
Well, on that note, we'll let you go, Boy Green. Job well
Jake,
done.
I love it, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, Boy Green, one of the greats. It looks like Boy Green is called back, so we'll go back to the Ghostbuster hotline and allow Boy Green to make more points. Hello, Boy Green.
Hello, Jakey. I just wanted to give you a quick update from the laundromat. These did not come clean, man. I thought I'd get the stains out, but it just goes to show you, what a little Boy Green will do to you. These are fucked. Anyway, I'll catch you later, Jakey.
That's funny, man. That was good. That was job well done by Gator, man, to put that together on the fly. And Gator's done so many bits. He's just got like a prop closet. So he just put the Boy Green beard on. He was ready to go. Someone tweet Boy Green. Make sure he saw that. Someone tag him in Twitter. Be like, hey, Gator just impersonated you. Yeah, Boy Green's got to throw those sheets out. All right, folks. I want everyone to stop what they're doing because I have no idea where this call is going. Matthew is up next. Matthew, what do you got for us?
Jets, Jets.
Are we doing this again with the dog?
Oh, I'm just doing test hands of a magic deck and I just dropped $300 on. I did it with a Bills fan. Hell no, that's $300. I ain't fucking with that. I had therapy this morning because I was blazed out of my mind with edibles last night after you guys won. I popped a whole gummy that really hit me hard. Eat shit. Let's go, Texas.
Oh my God.
Game. They handed us the game. Jets, Jets.
Oh my God. The Gators got his next skit. I got. No other way around it. Gator got me there. I thought comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line, hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Appreciate everyone out there. Hep, if you turn your camera on, I could go to you. In the meantime, let me get to the super chat here from Bryce, who says we need to draft Kyle McCord, second round. In. I'm fine with it if that's the move they want to make. Super chat here from Mock. Mock, I apologize for the delay. I'm just seeing this. I saw AVT and Olu. They both said Rodgers is great. I believe them too, but what we saw on game days did happen. He didn't provide a spark or good leadership on the field. I respect AG. Tough decision. Look, that's fine. I think the issues they had were no coaching, and I think you'd feel a lot differently about Aaron Rodgers if Greg Zuerlein hit some kicks and they had 3 extra wins right now. If they went 8-9, are you feeling the same way? Because that's how close they were to doing that. Or if they even just didn't blow the amount of games they blew defensively. How you feeling? Look, I get it. It's easy to say they won 5 games, move on. I'm looking a little deeper than that. I think Rodgers gives us the best chance to win and have a season next year. I think we're a bad team now next year. We might be a bad team anyway, but at least I'm going to try. I think if you're a first-time head coach, you're not going to get forever. Like if Aaron Glenn's 4-13 year 1, he's on the hot seat in year 2. That's how it's going to go. People say, no way. Watch. Like, how many years do you get? So he's not going to be able to get his quarterback this year because he moved on from Rodgers. So he's going to get a rookie in 2026. Then he'll be entering year 3 at the latest on the hot seat. Playoff for bus. Like, this is how it goes. Jay writes in, next Asmaniac raffle, Mekhi Becton replica Super Bowl ring. Ha! Next raffle features a signed Curtis Martin helmet, Hall of Fame helmet, a signed Wayne Corbett jersey, a signed Don Maynard helmet, Joe Namath replica ring, and an Aaron Glenn autographed trading card. Gift of membership to be in the raffle. We only had one person gift this show. It was a big one. Huge, huge shout out to listener Frank P, who gifted a 20 spot earlier this show. Hep, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Jake. I'm sorry. My camera's all wonky. I don't know what's going on with it.
It's all good, Hep. As long as we can hear you, you're fine.
All right. I just wanted to give you I have a suggestion for the offseason. How about an Asmaniac touch football game?
Ooh, I like that idea. Maybe we gather some people and
yeah, definitely record it. Then you could show it. We could break it down. We could do all that stuff. You know, it'll be a lot of fun. Yeah,
I like it.
I'll give you a little preview of what I think next year is going to be. It's going to be concentrating on the defense and running. That's what we're going to do. We're going to really concentrate on our defense and try to get it back to, Glenn's a big blitzer. So we're going to be a very aggressive defense. And we're going to ride the Breece Hall train. That's what we're going to do. I think we don't have much choice, really, right?
I mean, look, I just, if they're going to be good, I feel like they're going to have to fix the defense. They're going to have to be what they were in 2023, but you hope the difference is they have better quarterback play so they can go from 7 wins to 9 and be in the playoffs maybe, or 10.
Thanks, Jake. Love you guys.
Hep, appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, that D-Rock guy has just sent me a very lengthy email. So this guy refuses the call, but he'll tweet me trying to get sympathy online from strangers and then send me a long, long email here that I'm in the process of reading here. Call in, man. I'm on later. I mean, this is just sad. You're very sad, D-Rock. Call into the show, man. You're too afraid. You have time to tweet me and write a lengthy email, but you're very sad. He claims I only have a couple people here and there that disagree with me. I can only go to the people that call in, and I respond to all comments from people. But D-Rock, you're scared. That's the problem. You have no spine. You have no balls. You're gutless. You're a pussy cat without the cat. People want me to read the email. It's too long. It's going to take up too much time. I'll read you the first couple sentences. You ready? So you really think this is appropriate? You think this is appropriate for kids to hear you talk like this? Hey, guess what? D-Rock, there's a button I have to press on YouTube that says it's not for kids. That's what every content creator has to press. I wrote you only to put on people that agree. I watch your videos a lot. You only have a couple people here or there that disagree with you. So what? That I wrote that. And let me tell you this. Sorry we don't all get the luxury to sit on our keyboards all day and talk. Some of us have hands-on blue-collar jobs. And then he just keeps going. Well, why don't you call in, man? You had enough time to type all this. Interesting how that works, though. Anyway, more of your calls.
Hi, everybody. This is Bob from Vermont. I am Bob, of course. First of all, you need to learn on phonics first. the way he that's not even the English person.
Yeah.
D-Rock. So yeah, don't listen to that guy. We have to let these people shrug off. Like you always tell me, let these people shrug.
I have received another email from the Nick Shine Show.
Yeah.
And the full thing reads a very short email.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
look.
Beast Breaker shirt.
Yeah, this is from Gator. He sent me that the other day. So it does fit wicked good. Look how much room I got in there. I got a room for another person in there. No,
How about that?
No. Oh, I'm gonna call later on Burger King, right?
Are we gonna get an update?
I'm gonna call up later on Burger King. I'll give you an update. What's
All right.
happening?
I hope
And
they give you
then
the job.
If that job doesn't work out, I got an interview next week at McDonald's at 9:15.
You already scheduled it?
Yep, already scheduled. Yep.
Well, hold on a second. Maybe you should take the interview anyway if Burger King offers you the position, because then we could leverage the two options together and get you more money.
Right, I did that one time. You know what I did? Remember I told you I was 366 at one time?
Yeah.
Okay, so I had an interview over at there's a Price Chopper, you know. It was for early morning shift, you know. Then I had another interview at a college up the road, up on Putney Road. What was that? I can't remember the college right off the map. So I had those two, right? So take a guess which one I picked. I picked the one at the college.
Wow.
Yeah. College was a lot better for me.
Now let's break this down for a moment.
Yeah.
Are the Burger King and McDonald's locations near each other?
Well, not too far. Burger King's right up the road, and then McDonald's is, if you go on up on south of us, north of us. I mean, it's good north because we live in the exit 1. If you go exit 3 and get off of there, that's where McDonald's is. Off the highway, or you could go through the center of town, which is a pain in the ass sometimes. Well, not 9:15 in the morning. 9 o'clock in the morning it won't be during the lunchtime.
What do you think pays more?
I don't know. They probably pay the same. They usually nowadays part-time 21 something. They're moving. What's that called up?
Hourly wage is $21 now.
Yeah. What is that called?
Minimum wage.
Yeah. That's yeah.
Is that what they pay, or is it above minimum wage?
Well, I don't know. I have to see what. Last time when I worked at McDonald's down there, it was minimum wage. I was getting like $18 an hour.
Well, make sure don't accept any offer. All right, so you got to think about it. All right, don't show your desperation if they offer it to you today on the phone.
No. Well, I think McDonald's.
Just say thank you for the offer. I'm gonna think about it with my family.
Right, and yeah, then do it next week. Yeah. But I think the McDonald's, because I already worked at McDonald's, so I like McDonald's better.
You have experience in McDonald's, yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Now, do you prefer a Big Mac or a Whopper? That's also part of this.
No, I like the Big Mac, but I can't eat. I got to throw away the buns. No more buns in my life.
So you just stick to the meat.
Yeah, that's what she said. Oops. Oh, what's the D-Rock? I said something bad. Oh, my God. And there's another guy in there. Travis, what was his name this morning? He wanted to call in and give me a hard time this morning too.
I don't know. Nick Shine is reporting that minimum wage is $14.01 in Vermont for 2025.
Well, I could take it. I get my other thing too. I'm working part-time 24 hours. Then I get a SSDI for my back, so I'm fine. My back is all messed up.
Now, a great question from Bill here. Did the McDonald's interviewer call you honey as well?
No. It was one of those, what you call online ones. You have this lady, her name is Olivia. I think that's the cat lady's name. And she got all my information.
Did you say cat lady?
Chat lady.
I thought you called her a cat lady. I'm like,
oh, no, chat lady.
I see.
So she got back to me this morning on my phone. She emailed me and says, next week at 9:15 is my appointment. So that works out good.
Jesse P says, tell him that you have to go to a darkness retreat before you make your decision.
No, I'm not going to do that. Definitely not.
Nick Dow says he would puke if he saw you making his burger.
Well, Nick Dow, I don't care what you think about me. I really do care. Bye now. Have a good day. I've changed over these people who like to type in like you do. Didn't you get pissed off at the other guy? Now you know what we have to deal with.
Curly says no sexual advances from McDonald's. They are out.
No, that Curly, no, that's no.
Gator says, Bob, did you get my microphone? It lights up like Buffalo Jet fans' mic.
Oh, I like that one, but not yet. I don't know where it is. It could be in the front. I didn't check the front because the other time I got something mailed to me like last week, it went to my next door neighbor. They don't come around the back. They just throw it wherever they want to. And that's because I got my big fellers came to the same person. He had to bring it over to me. And that's when we had the snow, the walking path. So,
Nick Shine says, imagine Bobby working the drive-thru. Welcome to BK. Where you from? Do you have pets? Okay, you're a nice lady.
No, I'm not doing that. It's you got to see how fast you got to work on those things. No. I rather be cooking. That's what I mean.
So you want to be a fry cook, is what you're telling me?
Yeah, fry cook. Yeah, that's what they did at McDonald's. You know how you get your egg sandwiches? They have this pretty good thing. You put the eggs in there, and you just let them fry up, and then you have that.
How quickly did you learn how to make all the food? Is it a hard process?
No, it didn't take that long. I worked at the college for my first job at the college. Well, my second job at a newspaper when I moved to Vermont, New Hampshire. Then I went to Keene State College. Then I worked up myself to be a breakfast and lunch cook, and I love to cook. We used to make a pretty stuff. Pre-head, you had to see the eggs got green and all that. So the new company came in and they wanted us to do made to order stuff, which I got a little scared. But my boss showed me how to do it, and I got through it. Then the new people came in, they wanted to drop me. So now I've been here 8 years by now. Have a good day, Mr. Marvel. So that's how I ended there. 2 other friends did the same thing too. Sandy Johnson, the Kiss Butt news manager, didn't stick up for either of us. She doesn't remember the times I used to work 3 shifts for her. Oh, can you work in the dish room for me? Oh, no. And then you had this guy. Oh, I told Dubs, if you give me a hard time, you watch out. Guess what he did to my brother, Mikey, in the dish room? He picked him up like this. And they said, you better let him down. I kicked him right in the freaking chin. Oh, I told him, you better watch out. I'm not in the mood for your crap.
Mm-hmm. Give us a little fry cook demonstration here. Give us a little, you're flipping the burgers.
I did that for you before.
Yeah, we're trying to get you in the right mindset.
Well, I got to do it second show because I made some eggs this morning over there. I'll make sure it's clean.
Cactus Johnny wants to know, do they drug test you at McDonald's prior to employment?
They probably do. I don't take drugs, so I don't have to worry about it.
No, you smoked the ayahuasca. It's going to be in
that
your
was a long time ago. That's out of my system. That was in Halloween.
No, it's still in your system. It lasts for 7 months.
No, it's not.
No, it does. I don't think you're going to be able to get the job.
No. That's funny. Yeah, so Neil's never going to call in again. I doubt that.
Mike writes in, Bobby, would you charge Mikey if he came to your Burger King?
Well, I have to, but I'll pay for him myself. But I'd rather have the McDonald's. I really didn't think that would come up, but I'd rather go McDonald's.
Bill M says, Bobby, egg McMuffin or bacon, egg, cheese biscuit?
Oh, I like the biscuit better.
This is getting me hungry. Kevin says, I'd rather not have Bobby cooking my fries.
What did he say?
He doesn't want you cooking his fries.
Oh, okay, Kevin, that's fine. Okay, well, have a great day. I don't want you to talk to yourself. We're even. Okay, thank you. Goodbye. Mm-hmm.
Joe M wants to know if you're ever in a good mood.
I'm always in a good mood, much better than I've been lately. Bye, Joe. I've been nice. I've been answering the questions, right, Joe? Right, Jake?
I think you're in a good headspace right now.
Yeah, we're doing good. I'm happy I got 2 jobs. I did it on my own. That's how I got the Holiday Inn job. I don't need a social worker to get my jobs. I got all my jobs on my own. So.
That's right.
Yeah,
I think you're going to get the Burger King job, but I think it's going to be interesting to see if McDonald's tries to woo you. And
no, I
you.
want the McDonald's. I'd rather go McDonald's. That's my.
So if Burger King offers you the job, you just got to say, "Hey, I need a day or two to think about it. Buy yourself some more time."
Yeah, no, that's what. Yeah, I should do. Like I screwed up the other one. I should have took the other. Well, I like the college, but I like the other one better.
So. Growing years, right? And Bobby, will you shower between shifts?
Yes, of course. That was just because we don't have a that time for like 6 days. And then have a boiler downstairs. Now we have a boiler. I take showers every day. Changing my shirt from the other day. Didn't shave though. I gotta shave to get a haircut.
I see. Nick Shine says Bobby always in a good mood, like I'm always clean shaven.
Yeah. Guess what? Michael was on his show last night. Did you see Mike on his show last night? He talked to Jake Graves last night.
Yeah, it was great.
Mm-hmm. He likes Jake Graves like we all do. What? I love you, Bobby, even when you get... Oh, thank you, Curly. We love you, too. But I'm going to change...
25 says if Burger King offers you, you take it. No guarantee you get the McDonald's job.
No, no, you got your options. Like Jake said, don't worry about it. Calm down, 25. Calm down. I'm happy. You look 19 now, not 25. He shaved his mustache, beard. He looks clean shaven.
I see.
Looks a lot different than he did before. Anybody else? More questions?
Yeah, Ralphie says, would you rather put on Grimace or Ronald McDonald outfit for the birthday parties?
I'd rather be the Grimace. Yeah, Grimace is funny. I like the purple.
Nick Shine says you take the job if offered.
Well, I want to interview both jobs, okay? Thank you. I don't think I'm going to get the Burger King job. I think I will get the McDonald's.
Why not? She called you honey.
I know, that's true. Who would call you honey in there? I don't know. I never met the girl, so I met the other girl from last week.
That's what I'm saying,
was the
Bob.
assistant manager. She was on vacation last week. She came back yesterday, I think, and then you got to give her a day to call back.
Growing Year says, Jake, would you eat at Chipotle if Bobby was making your burrito?
Oh, I wouldn't want to work at Chipotle. Yes.
I wouldn't have a lot of faith in you being able to wrap the burrito, but I would.
I don't know how to wrap burritos. Yes.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
But if you were my Chipotle server, as long as you hooked me up with a little extra chicken and steak in the bowl, I'm good.
Of course I would do that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And
also, I'm gonna get guac, but you're gonna put lettuce over it, so you could plead ignorance that you didn't see that I got guac, so you won't charge me $3 for it.
Right. Because you were telling us when you do DoorDash to charge your arm and leg for that crap.
Yeah, never do DoorDash. Just go in there and order in person.
No. Some areas could do DoorDash.
Not for Chipotle.
Oh, no, I don't eat Chipotle.
Gator wants to know if you're capable of standing for 4 hours.
Yes, I could stand much better now than I was with my toes before. I'm losing the weight, but I didn't. No, I've been in that thing. Super Bowl.
I see. All right. Well, you keep us posted if you hear anything. All right.
Yeah. No. For second show, I will tell you, and then I'll have my thing all clean for you. Then I can show you my flipping things.
Excellent.
Okay. Good call.
All right.
I love you, Jake. You have a
too,
great
Bob.
rest of the day. Bye now.
You got it.
Well, I have my own YouTube show. If I'm awake, I'm going live. Unless Jake has a show, I'm Bobby.
Bobby Midnight, everybody, which means it's time for one last call. Before that, if you want to in on the raffle, get in, baby. Aaron Glenn signed card. Joe Willie Namath replica Super Bowl III ring. Don Maynard signed helmet. Wayne Corbett signed jersey. And finally, Curtis Martin signed helmet. Our new crop of raffle prizes. Fries Maniac raffle number 15. After we did number 14 last week. Ladies and gentlemen, with that said, Joe Torre is going out to the mound. He has made the signal, and it's time to bring in the closer.
It's Chiefs fan.
Guess what? I'm still looking for a job, bitches.
It's Chiefs fan.
I'm just going to rub my hands together all day.
It's Chiefs fan.
There's a whole lot of DNA on this couch.
Let's hear it for Chiefs fan.
Look, it's my dead neighbor that I didn't kill. Amazing intro as always, Gator. I slept in today, and sleeping into me is like 8 o'clock. So I'm so used to like not sleeping past 8 o'clock. So like 8:05 is sleeping in for me, since I'm trying to be up early and all that stuff to get back to the job routine once the back is taken care of. I just want draft day to get here. I know it's 2 days after the Super Bowl, but like there's so many.
We haven't even had free agency yet.
Oh shit! True. Doesn't that start? Yeah, that starts. I just want draft day to get here, so you, for you guys, Giants fans, and see if me and my friends called Titans the Tits. See if the Tits trade the first overall pick. Like we call them the Tits.
How do you feel about the Tits?
Woman Tits? Hell yeah. The Titans, they're dog shit.
Interesting.
Yeah. They're stupid if they trade out of number 1. Like I was talking to people last night, and people were coming up with stupid ideas. Like the Browns swap with Myles Garrett going to the Tits. I typed in probably the most dumbest one. You guys first rounder next year, second round, Adams for you getting the first one, and everyone's like, that's not gonna happen. But if they trade out of it, I see a top 10 team doing. I don't see the Jets trading for a quarterback, but that would be pretty funny if you did trade for the number 1.
Joe M says, please find the new closer, maybe one who's a Jets fan.
What a douche.
Yeah. Being a closer has nothing to do with your fandom.
Yeah. True.
25 says, hell yeah to women's tits.
Hell yeah, 25.
Frank P says, my team didn't win 3 Super Bowls in a row. Wah. Try being a Jets fan. That is pain.
Yeah, whatever. But free agency is coming up, and I just rather it be draft day, because April, we're done with winter. We're having at least scattered showers. I just want warmer weather. I just want April, March to get here faster. At this point, I'll just time skip to the draft and time skip into May, so we can get to football faster and get to college playoffs and all that.
Michael says, White Chiefs fan is cool. With all the drama earlier, it's good to close on a palate cleanser.
Yeah, thank you, Michael. Like, I came in at the tail end. I was listening to you read the email, and then my older Chromebook I was working on decided to take a shit. So I'm on my newer one. Like, I got multiple ones that people just give me to work on and give them back to them. And if they don't want it back, I just switch out parts and all that. It's funny. I don't know how to work on laptops, but I know how to do Chromebooks. I should know more about laptops. But the reason why I know about Chromebooks the most is, like, I used to, like, up north during the tax season, they would H&R Block would give all the Chromebooks after the tax season each year or every 3 years to the high school. And up north, when I graduated, they were like, oh, you're good with this. We need you to clear this, this, and this, and this out and reset the Chromebooks for classes and then install Linux. And I'm like, okay.
I see.
So I knew that as a kid growing up, and I knew that as a high schooler. Like, I wish I could program, but, like, programmers don't make that much money anymore anyway.
Boomtown says, Chiefs fan, you want to skip past as Maniac March Madness?
Oh no, yeah, I forgot about that. Okay, we'll do March Madness. Yeah, we'll do. I forgot about that. My bad.
A lot of people buzzing about your call yesterday with the lane train to end the second show.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Other than a few haters, like the guy says, I feel like I'm having a heart attack. Like, get the hell out.
Right.
I felt that was
I have
more.
a lot of haters too, Cheats fan. Don't worry.
Well, like here's the thing. I felt that was more disrespectful to Lane because I'm like, Lane's more of a relaxed guy. I'm like, oh no, you're not gonna do that when Lane's on. Lane's too chill to talk back. I'm like, oh no, I'll just stick up for him.
I see. What's for lunch today, Chiefs fan?
I have some healthy choice chicken noodle soups.
Nice.
Those small cans. I did 3 of the cans together since I'm gonna only eat a big meal today and a snack later. So I did 3 cans of soup, a can of mixed vegetables, and a can of green beans. And I know it's not the best, but I have a giant ass soup pot, so I dilute my soups with water, so I'm not taking in that much sodium. For every can of soup, I add a can of water in, so it just dilutes it. And I'm gonna do a soup and had too much bread yesterday, so I'm just gonna do a soup and the leftover salad that I have. Because I bought 2 bags of salad on Saturday and one's still good. So yeah. Forgot about Asmaniac March Madness. Speaking of March Madness, I know Alabama's in the SEC, but like, why do they get to be number 2 when your St. John's just has to fight to get into the top 10? It's ridiculous, man. How do you feel about that, Jake?
It's gonna be you make some salient points, but there's gonna be a lot of competition.
Like my team's in the SEC with 6 losses and we're 21.
I'm more focused on Asmaniac Madness, though, to be honest with you.
Okay, yeah. Same here now.
I'm rooting for the Johnnies in March Madness. Go St. John's.
I'm gonna go for Mizzou if we face off. No hard feelings, man. I know. I just don't want Alabama or Duke to win. I'd rather have Auburn win because
Roll Tide. Not a fan.
No, never been a fan of Bama. Never been a fan of Duke. Like the only dynasty in college basketball who I supported was the Michigan State dynasty. Back when they were winning, back in the 2000s and 2010s.
I see.
I just supported them just out of the color green, basically, because green's a good color, and green and red are my favorite colors. And people are like, I like Christmas colors. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not a big Christmas person. But like, I like red because of my Cardinals, and I like green because as a kid, I would just find 4-leaf clovers and 6-leaf clovers and 5-leaf clovers and make little jewelry out of the things.
Shane Howard super chat says, Jake, thoughts on making a play for Carr? We know the Saints are in Cap Hill. They could want to rebuild. He was an option for us before Rodgers. I mean,
no.
His contract sucks, so if they release him, maybe, Shane. I don't love Derek Carr. I guess he's better than some of the alternatives we've talked about, but that doesn't really excite me.
I think Justin Fields is better than Carr in this situation. I think Carr's washed.
Yeah.
With Fields, you have a mobile quarterback. With Fields, he can extend the plays, unlike Rodgers could because he had his ACL completely screwed, and then he came back. And also with Fields, like, you're getting someone younger. So, like, if you like him and then you draft someone to learn behind him, you don't have to worry about an aging quarterback like Kurt ACL.
You're saying
injury,
Asian
Rodgers.
Quarterback or
Asian,
like a Chinese quarterback?
Asian,
not Asian.
Yeah, my bad.
Okay, got
it. That's what sound like that. My bad. Like quarterbacks below the 30s, basically.
Gotcha.
I wish there were more Asian quarterbacks, more diversity in the league, but so be it.
Zoink Nation writes in, I heard that Mahomes will be traded after the Super Bowl performance. Thoughts?
That ain't happening. I will literally if that happens, I'm going. If that happens, I'm making sure Mount St. Helens and the super volcano erupts by the end of the night. I'll find my way. We're all going down if that happens.
We covered the possibility of an Asian quarterback for the Jets. How about a Canadian quarterback?
That'd be good.
Okay.
I'll put my inner James Bond villain on, and then we're all going down.
I like it.
Because I don't want my quarterback to go away. It was like our O-line sucked ass that game. And speaking of O-line, I know a lot of people were pissed last year as you still got Bauer boys in chat, but like I know Bauer's lit up the damn league, but like your O-line, hopefully he's getting a second year.
How do you feel about Kirk Cousins?
It's the same thing coming off an ACL with Rodgers. He's not a mobile quarterback. You need someone to run to extend plays. You need someone to take the rest of the run.
I see.
How at this point, Woodson and Jameis is like a liability for other interceptions and Fields. I think that'd be better. No offense, Tyrod. I don't think if they go with Tyrod, you're probably going to show up each show drunk before you start the show. Because like he can't keep himself together. Like that one season he did with the Bills and made the playoffs, and then he laid a fucking egg, whatever. I just don't want you guys getting someone else off of an ACL injury because it's going to be the same old stories with Rodgers.
Achilles, but I see your point. All right, Cheats fan.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you.
My
calling
bad.
in.
My bad. It's ACL. I get those confused. But
You're
like,
good.
I would love to see you guys get Fields or Jameis. Jameis is
friend of the
but
show.
if you got, but like, there's a third candidate that I was thinking of you guys getting, which would be, people were making the rounds
how about a
about
Puerto Rican quarterback for V-Man.
Hell yeah, Puerto Rican for V-Man. People were talking about last night in the group chat, that small group chat that we're in for the card shop. Like, you guys might get Carson Wentz, and I'm like, where is this coming from?
Ladies and gentlemen, from Cheats fan to Captain Puerto Rico. Fly around, baby.
I am not doing that. I don't have the space.
Start from where your chair is and then run and then jump onto the bed so we see the Puerto Rican flag. Captain Puerto Rico. Incredible. Join the Patreon if you haven't. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. It includes access to the Discord. 20% off all merch items like the polo I'm wearing or the hat I'm wearing. It also means you get bonus shows that are not on YouTube every month. At least one, if not more. Sometimes I've done 4 or 5. Depends on the time of year. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. Thank you all for watching. Best listeners in sports. You guys are the best. We're back this afternoon. Will Parkinson is going to join us. We'll get his thoughts on where the Jets go from here. Post Aaron Rodgers. I end the show with a message. I take you back to when Gary and I were arguing on the moon. Enjoy your day, everyone. Go Jets. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Otherwise, you're a confirmed communist.
Would you take Robert Griffin III again in the first round?
I mean, at what
just
point?
Yes or no, Jake. Just yes or this is not a preamble. It's not filibuster. It's not Spurs about 50 things. Yes or no. Would you take?
John,
there you go.
Second. Oh my God, dude.